everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Toad Talk Podcast. I am your host, Croakitoad, aka Tad, welcoming you back in for episode 16. We've got a lot of games to cover, a little bit of sports, and some community news as always. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. As always, we really appreciate you, and we have been listening and looking at your posted comments to enter that giveaway for Star Fox, which will be next weekend. So this is your last chance to enter into that giveaway for Star Fox on the Nintendo Switch 2. But before we get into the details of that, I just want to bring in our panel for this week. The original cast is back once again. Raji is right here.
Hey.
And we also have Zazrus right over here.
Hi.
You guys sound like a couple of wind chimes.
We're supposed to be like peaceful. It's a peaceful episode tonight.
Yes,
Oh.
very peaceful.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Very peaceful.
Yes, very zen.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. Did you not get the memo?
No, apparently not.
Oh, okay then.
Okay,
we're
well,
sorry.
that's
We're
okay.
sorry.
Well, let me just peacefully pass this over to Raji so that he can enlighten our viewers listening out there about next week's Star Fox giveaway that's going to be happening.
Yes, but carefully, please.
Yes, very carefully.
Yes, the winner will be announced next week, and tonight's final keyword is Final Fox.
Final Fox. All right. That's a very zenful comment to put into the comments for YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcast. By any chance there, Raji, do you have a total accumulated count of how many raffle entries that we currently have at this point in time?
No, because I like to do everything on the fly.
Oh, okay. Well, since this is a very zenful episode, hopefully you don't hurt that fly.
Yes.
All right. Well, moving on from that to bring your own news. I almost said it again. I want to say bring your own table, but we are not the Dudley Boys. We're a zenful podcast this week.
You almost said bring your own nudes right there.
That would not also be very zenful.
We have thrown Zen out the window. My throat can't handle it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It was fun while it lasted for a little bit. At least.
Yes. Everyone listening is probably like, what episode am I listening to? All right. Well, I'm going to start things off as I always do with bring your own news to the table this week. And I just want to talk about two movies that we actually covered on two previous episodes of Toad Talk Podcast in our movie block. The first being Obsession and the second being Scary Movie 6. So I'll just give my thoughts after I've watched both. First of all, I know last week we went into a big preview commentary over the movie Obsession, which has broken all kinds of movie records with the director, who is actually formerly a YouTuber, actually, came into this role creating his first full feature-length film that went to theatrical release. You got Indy Neveretti in there as the main character alongside the male character. I forget his name, but she puts on one heck of a performance in this movie. As I said last week's podcast, these were all the things I was reading about going into this movie, and I do agree. She definitely puts up one heck of a performance in this movie. She definitely makes the movie here. Her performance is like really, really, really good for the actor and the character that she's trying to portray here. And also, a fun little fact here: some people may not know about the actress Indy Neveretti. She actually has some Twitch clips of her playing, I believe, like Call of Duty and Fortnite on her Twitch channel that have been like circulating around. You know, this movie came out and has like made all this news, and people are putting it so far up high in all of their top horror movies of all time tier lists and everything. Like, this movie has really made a lot of turns. And yeah, what's also funny is that this movie and I believe Backrooms were both I believe they were both Blumhouse productions. So if you didn't like Obsession, you got your Backrooms. If you didn't like Backrooms, you got your Obsession. So Blumhouse is currently like really killing it right now, no pun intended. And then after the Dead by Daylight news conference they did last Sunday, which we watched, they're also in the helm to get the ball rolling on that Dead by Daylight movie as well from Blumhouse. So they are firing on all cylinders right now. And Obsession actually made the top 10. I want to say it was the top 10 most grossing horror movies domestically of all time. It made that top 10 list. Other movies in that list are like Jaws, It Chapter 2, The Exorcist, to name a few. So the fact that the movie just came out, not too long ago, and it's already cracked up into that top 10 is really impressive. But in terms of the movie itself, I felt like it was really good. It's an everyday story. I'm not going to go fully into it because we talked about it in the preview last podcast, but basically the synopsis is this guy has a coworker that has a crush on, this other woman, and he goes to this witchcraft store. He buys this stick, he snaps it in half, and it gives you one wish, and he wishes that she loves him more than anybody else in the world. His wish does come true, but at some really creepy and very horrific consequences for not only him but the woman herself. And I'm not going to give too much away for those. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil. But really crazy, weird, creepy, and horrific things happen. There are a few jump scares in here that are also really good. And it's an everyman's tale. Like, when have we, growing up, ever had this, this woman that we're like infatuated with, and we just wish that we had the courage, work up the courage enough to like ask her out on a date or just say hello to her or whatever. We've all been in that position, and vice versa for women to men, I'm sure. And so that we've all been in that position before. And so it hits home to everybody watching this movie because we've all been there. But yeah, it definitely takes a very interesting turn on the whole one wish concept and flips it on its head into like more of a horror movie. And I like it. I walked away from it enjoying it. I can't wait to give it a second try because this is a movie that you really need to watch repeated times to get the full depth of everything that's being told here. There is a lot to unpack, and one watch will not satisfy everything that the movie's trying to tell. So there's that. My review of Obsession is the hype worth everything behind it? I would say if you're a fan of horror movies and you want to get that thrill and you want to see how this relationship evolves between this man and this woman, yes, I think all the hype and all the excitement and hype and promotion that went into this is warranted. So yes, I would give it a good, solid, positive review. And then Scary Movie 6, on the other hand, while it was good and good to see the Wayans brothers back in the helm again, I think they were ejected from the movie franchise after the second one, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's when the Weinsteins took over. And that's why you didn't see the Wayans again until this one. And then you notice that there was other like characters filling in the main roles. I think, I can't remember Cindy, and I can't remember the other one, her friend. I think they did come back for 3 and 4, and then eventually they died off or something. But you never saw the Wayans again after the second one, I believe. You can fact check me if I'm wrong in the comments. But the Weinsteins took over, and then this was the Wayans brothers coming back into the Scary Movie 6 universe again to control everything, get the script and everything. And honestly, I felt like while it was good to see it back and it kind of hit at home to get that kind of humor again that we got way back when, I felt like a lot of the humor in this movie, all the little cuts to like references to different movies and pop culture and stuff, felt like it was like more or less forced rather than a fluid part of the story. And I know what you're saying, scary movie with a story. I mean, there are some pretty solid stories in some of the scary movies, even though the whole point of the movie is to go there and laugh and get some humor out of it. But underneath all of the humor and the laughs and stuff, there is kind of somewhat of a plot going on. Like there's a reason why these characters are doing this and going here and doing that. And there's an objective and everything. And in this movie, it felt really more or less just like a bunch of segments that were glued together for the sake of just trying to nail on everybody and everything. And it just kind of felt a little bit just like out of nowhere on a lot of these things. Like, for example, there's like one segment where they're spoofing Michael Jackson because the new Michael movie came out not too long ago. And it just like was out of nowhere. Like it made no sense. And It just felt like they threw it in there just to throw it in there. So if you're looking for a movie that will get you to laugh with references that you will be familiar with, and you're like, ah, ha, 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 and everything like that, and you just don't care, you just want to see some mindless humor and get some laughs, then I would say, yeah, go check it out. If you're one that is a fan of like some of the more vintage scary movies, like 1 and 2, where it's kind of like there is humor and there are laughs and there are funny moments, but there is kind of like an underlying story and plot being developed through the movie, then you might be a little bit disappointed in this one because it's just a bunch of gag skits glued together really in this one. And some of the humor just I didn't really laugh at. So I don't know if I just grew out of it from the last time we saw the original scary movies and I'm just kind of older now and whatever, or if the humor just wasn't as good. I don't know. You can let me know down in the comments if you've watched this. Let me know what you think. But I would give it like an like an average. If you're just looking for some laughs and to waste some time and see what kind of references they spoof on, I would say definitely go check it out. But if you're hoping that this is going to be like a really great, just constantly laughing the entire time scary movie, you might be a little bit disappointed. I don't think it was quite as good as the original ones, but yes, those are two movies that we have covered here on the Toad Todd podcast. I finally got around to watching, and I just want to drop my review there. If you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to bring to the table this week. For now, I'm gonna send it over to Raji.
All right, my story this week. I was waiting a couple weeks to talk about this. Just I wanted everything to play out. I've been following this particular story since April, but it's finally come to an end. So I'm not going to talk about it. There's this college quarterback. His name is Brennan Sorsby. In 2022, he started his college career with the Indiana Hoosiers. He appeared in one game his true freshman season. Then he got the starting job in 2023, but he was replaced briefly, but came back midseason. But then he entered the transfer portal late at the end of that year. Transferred to Cincinnati in 2023, served as the primary starter in 24, 20, and 25. Would transfer from Cincinnati in 2025 to Texas Tech January of this year. So going into this upcoming season, he would be playing for Texas Tech. Well, then on April 27th, like I said, been training since April, he suddenly enters rehab for gambling addiction, and NCAA launches an investigation into impermissible betting, including wagers on Indiana football while he was at Indiana. He then on May 18th, he files a lawsuit against NCAA seeking eligibility for the upcoming season. Texas Tech declares him ineligible and initiates reinstatement. May 26th, the NCAA denies the reinstatement. 3 days later, he admits to placing over $90,000 in bets over 4 years, including at least 40 on Indiana football while he was there. June 5th, the NCAA rejects Texas Tech's appeal to reinstate Sorsby. June 8th, a federal judge grants temporary injunction allowing Sorsby to play with a 2-game suspension. Big Ten threatens scheduling bans. This led to a huge thing where teams did not want to play Texas Tech. They weren't going to schedule them. They were going to, and even teams within the Big 12 itself were like, we're not playing them. We're not playing a team with an obvious rule breaker. They were so fed up with it that they would even sacrifice a loss. They would take a loss and give Texas Tech an automatic win if they needed to, because they did not want to play a team with a rule breaker. So on June 15th, the Big 12 filed a lawsuit to enforce its rules. And then Brennan Sorsby decides, you know what? I'm going to enter the NFL supplemental draft, and ended his college eligibility. So this entire thing was a waste of everybody's time from the get-go. So yeah, Brennan Sorsby is going to the NFL through the supplemental draft, and we can all rest easy knowing that a person who's betting on their teams to win or lose is no longer in college football. And with that, we go to Graham.
Oh yeah, okay. So my table, or my news, talking about. I feel like I'm bringing all the food stuff into the podcast, but I was able to try the BST Oreos. I was curious about the brown sugar pancake taste. It was okay. Nothing really to write home about. I had a few, and I'm like, okay, I see where they were going for, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, huh. It was okay. I was giving my brown sugar Pop Tarts though for sure. And I also want to announce too that Arby's has brought back not only their orange cream shake, which is amazing by the way, but now they have cheesesteak sandwiches permanently. It seems like on the menu. When they tested this out, they were really, really good. Last time they would add like peppers and everything. It was really, really good. But I think this time it's just kind of just a normal cheesesteak. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, we've got to get a little Arby's talk in our podcast. I don't think we have, and it's been 16 episodes already. Jeez.
Yeah, you're like literally like the food guy. Like you always
All of a
usually.
sudden, like, yeah, I was like, I don't know why, but
I mean, his name in our Discord is called Pickle Guy.
True.
yeah, there you go.
Because you've talked about what you did. I think Wendy's once. You did Dunkin' Donuts. I think once. And then there was like a national food day or something, one of the foods day or something at one point, I think. So
Yeah,
you were like the go-to food guru here on the podcast, it seems.
I guess I'll take it. I guess right. What? It's something different, so why not?
Dairy
right?
Queen too. Did I mention Dairy Queen? Because you did Dairy Queen too, I think. Like
yeah, might have.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did DQ like 2 podcasts ago.
There you go.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, that is your news for this week that we wanted to bring to the table. All right. And we're going to move over to gaming block now. We have a lot of games to cover. We don't have any movies this week, just a lot of games, just mostly news about games. But we'll start things off with the biggest one of them all, the big granddaddy. When you think of video games coming out, number one on the list, you have to say it's this one. Rockstar Games coming out on June 18th, just a few days ago, dropping a video saying that pre-orders for GTA 6 will begin on June 25th. That's 4 days from the recording of this podcast, on digital storefronts and at other select retailers. And they also dropped the official cover art, which some people said, well, isn't that the same art that we've been seeing? But other people are like, there are some slight changes to it, but nevertheless, they did reveal it and dropped that June 25 is pre-order time for GTA 6. Don't you know that all these websites are going to be crashing on June 25th? All these storefronts that still do physicals are going to be, the retailers are going to be just absolutely bamboozled by all these people coming in to get their pre-orders in. It's going to be a crazy and wild day for gaming on June 25th. I feel bad for anyone that has to deal with that. But here we go. Let's take a look at the trailer that Rockstar did release on June 18th for GTA 6. Well, there you go. Short and sweet, 32 seconds long. Not really a trailer as much as it was just revealing the cover art and letting everybody know June 25 is pre-order day. But man, what a great music track to get you hyped for it. You see that 6 and you know immediately what that means if you're a gamer in any kind of relation. And then you see the GTA pop up and then you know people, the hairs are on people's arms are standing up and they are ready for this. They've been waiting a long time for the next GTA installment. And June 25 is pre-order day. Raji, are you planning on getting your pre-order in on that same exact day? You're going to fight the masses, or are you going to wait a little bit?
Brother, I'm getting mine through my console. So I am not a physical person at all, unless it's something. They haven't confirmed what editions or what kind of like collector's edition they're going to have. If it's something worth it, I might. But as of now, no. I'm also thinking they're going to drop the next trailer the same day that pre-orders go live. Also, if you go to Rockstar Games /VI, it will show you the cover art. But if you start scrolling your mouse, you get a little snippet of what the game world looks like. Just a little snippet, probably about 8 to 10 seconds, depending how fast you scroll. Probably shorter than that. But yeah, they're starting to really tease your balls with this one.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love the music for this. I'm already seeing a 1 hour version of the trailer song people have already started putting up for this. It's a very hype song. Like it gets you fired up for this, just knowing what the power and the magnitude that is GTA 6. Because we've been waiting, what, 12 years since 5? Has it been that long?
I think it's been a little longer. I think 2013 or
Mhm.
2012.
Oh, wow. 13. Wow.
Yeah, September 17, 2013. So it's been 13 years almost.
That is,
It actually will be 13 years when the game finally comes out in November. So yeah, it'll be 13 years.
wow. That is a lot of waiting. That's a lot of anticipation. And this game is going to just, we talked about this on a previous episode here, but this game is going to bust just about every video game record that is known to man. That is just going to do it.
That's been the joke. I don't know if anyone's caught on into the last couple podcasts, but that's been the joke about nobody wanting to touch November for releasing their game because they know the big the big daddy got November on lockdown. They don't want to touch it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Graham, are you excited? Did this trailer excite you at all for GTA 6? Are you planning on jumping into it at some point? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I plan on jumping in on it. Ironically enough, I really haven't played much of 5, which is kind of blasphemy, to be honest with you. But I do plan on probably picking this one up. Just kind of curious on what console you guys are going to be getting yours on.
Well, knowing the way my track record goes with PC gaming, and this game probably going to completely melt any computer that isn't relatively new. I don't really like my chances of playing this on PC really, but I'm sure there's going to be full crossplay on it. I'm sure that's not asking too much for a game like this.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Potentially, yeah. Raji, what about you?
I'm getting on PlayStation. I mean, we're not getting any kind of online mode right off the bat, so I don't think people get GTA games for the online. I mean, shoot. I don't even know GTA 5 was gonna have an online mode until they finally released GTA Online, like a few months later, and then by the time it came out, everybody played through the story and then spent their time online. And I don't believe GTA 5 had crossplay.
Oh, then maybe it won't have crossplay then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it had. I think GTA 5 had cross-gen play with the same console, so Xbox One and Xbox Series, PS4, PS5, and then PC only had themselves play with. So
yeah, that kind of even though it's kind of a bummer for friends on different platforms, that does kind of make sense because can you imagine just how massive the multiplayer base is going to be when this drops, when the online of it drops, if it's crossplay?
If I remember correctly, I think the developers, so there's a program on PC called 5M for the servers for GTA 5. That's where the roleplay servers and all that are. If I remember correctly, I think I read somewhere that they're actually getting 5M developers to help with the online mode of GTA 6. Yeah, back in 2023, they announced that they acquired CFX RE, which is developer of 5M. They said we're excited to partner with CFX.RE to support their incredible roleplay community and explore new ways to enhance our games. So we know that they're looking at dedicated servers for their online at least.
Wow. And if there's one thing that's still going strong after all these years, it's all those players out there that are using custom GTA, all those different, it's basically kind of taken a life of it in itself outside of the game. Like these people, these communities, these modders have continued to play GTA 5 outside of what it was originally intended to be played as and are literally living their lives on this game that they have modded and changed to be able to continue to get as much out of it as they possibly can. It's really actually quite impressive.
Yeah, they're literally keeping the game alive. I know they keep announcing stuff for their actual GTA Online mode, but if you just take a deep dive, it's the people who mod servers for 5M and make all these mods for games. I'm a big fan of the LSPDFR mod, which lets you be a cop, first responder, as such, and that they're the ones that was keeping GTA 5 going, just like they were back in the day, keeping San Andreas, Vice City, with the multiplayer mods going. Even GTA, I don't think GTA 4 got the same treatment because I think GTA 4 was a different monster. But yeah, I mean, I expect the same with GTA 6. I think it's going to be huge, especially if the 5M guys are a part of the online mode. It's going to be great, and I think we'll see 20 years at least out of this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's GTA 6. We'll keep you posted. June 25 for digital storefronts and other select retailers. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to get it because, as you said, they haven't really dropped the different versions of what you can get yet.
We all know you're getting it on Xbox. Come on, dude.
I just, I don't really trust my computer with GTA 6. I mean, I have a bad enough time as it is with freaking Peak and Pratfall. So,
I don't think it's not coming out on PC at launch, so you're gonna have to get it on Xbox.
Oh well, I don't have a PS5, so
I think GTA 5 happened too. I think PC didn't get it until later, so yeah.
Well, I guess I'll have to get it on Xbox then, and just make sure I do not play it on my gamer tag my achievement gamer tag, because whew, some of those online achievements can be a grind. All right, well, that's your GTA 6 news. We'll keep an eye on this, obviously, and we'll let you know. Maybe we'll have some news on June 25. Maybe they'll have some outlying numbers on how many units they sold or not sold, but pre-ordered, and have more news. Maybe they dropped a trailer. We'll talk about that next week if they do any of that. Moving on, we're going to talk about our next game in our gaming block this week. This is a game called Stella Nova. It was developed by Dave's Games, aka Dave. They're on Steam, and I actually personally played this a little bit during my Twitch live streams of streaming all sorts of demos for Steam Next Fest, and I got to know Dave. He came to my Twitch stream, and we had a good time getting to know each other and me playing his game. And I have to be honest with you, I am definitely not an expert by any means of the imagination on being able to control your own space colony and manage everything. So I was absolutely a noob going into this game, but I just wanted to showcase it, just kind of spread a little bit of awareness for Stella Nova and Dave's game here. Steam Next Fest, I believe, ends tomorrow, the 22nd. So what better time to shill a little bit of our podcast time here for some games that are being featured on Steam Next Fest that I have a personal relationship with. So here's the trailer for Stella Nova. All right, for those listening to the podcast right now, you got a nice little beat there. You didn't see what we saw, but it's basically a space colony simulator where you're building from the ground up. The galaxy has been wiped out. You're trying to rebuild civilization. You're trying to bring in people from around the galaxy to come into your base. And as you do this, you're trying to build it up, get supplies, resources that you can turn around to build and further expand your colony. And then you can have like sister colonies that you can build on top of this as well to just keep on growing and growing and expanding as you go. This is very much I think I considered this game kind of like when I was playing this on my live stream. I was like, the closest thing that I've ever really played to something like this is probably Fallout Shelter. And that's kind of a stretch. There's just so much that goes into this. If you like the space, the outer space aesthetic of like running a space colony, and you're trying to basically save humanity here, and you're doing it one resource at a time, and you're trying to grow and expand and build, this is definitely a great game for you. There's a lot to unpack when you first open the game up. Well, once you get over that initial learning curve, you start to learn how things work, what resources do, what you need to build to further expand. And on top of that, Dave's a really nice guy. He's been back to my Twitch channel several times since I played the demo, which can be seen on my YouTube channel, by the way. But yeah, definitely check out, if this sounds like a game that you would be interested in, definitely check it out on Steam. It's called Stella Nova and made by Dave's Games. Check it out. He's also got a YouTube you can check out. Raji, what did you think about the trailer for this? Did you catch me playing this live on my Twitch stream? And is this a game that you think would interest you at all?
I did not catch you playing this. I have heard of this. I thought it looked really cool. I like the graphics and I like the idea. I'm horrible at micromanaging like these management games, but I always give them a try. So yeah, I definitely get this a shot.
Nice. And Grem, I know you've probably been there at the chat when Dave swung by. He's a real nice guy. Not that that has any bearing on the game itself, but it is always really nice when you have kind of a personal connection to the person that developed the game. And what made these games special to me is when the developer is knowing that the developer of that game is sitting there in chat watching you play. It just kind of makes it a little bit more special rather than just playing another demo.
Yeah, because sometimes we lose sight when games are being made. There are people or a person behind it making that game, and a lot of times we go like, "Oh man, this game is kind of bad." And to your credit too, like you said, this isn't a type of game that is like in your normal rotation, but at the same time, you always try everything at least once or want to give it a shot. So, but yeah, no, I was actually here when you were playing it with Dave in there, and it's always fun to hear like the excitement in your voice too, and when you have like a developer in the in your chat while you're streaming and everything. So, but yeah, the game itself looks very, very like complex, and that's kind of crazy coming from just him just making the game and everything. It looks very unique. I love the space aesthetic. It just it seems like a lot, but I feel like once you kind of get the hang of it, you kind of can put the pieces together and have many different outcomes from this game.
Yeah, very much is sensory overload when you first start playing the game. Like I just was like plopped in there and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much on the screen. What do I do? But it does kind of, at least in the demo, it kind of tells you, kind of guides you what you need to do, what you need to click on, where you need to place it, and kind of gives you a little bit of explanation on how things work a little bit. But still, if you're not really familiar with these types of games, it is a lot on the screen for you to try to figure out. But we slowly worked our way through it and was able to complete the demo up to that point. And yeah, I think once I get a little bit more knowledge base into the game and what it's trying to do, what it's trying to portray, what the objective is, how you're supposed to tackle the situation, then I could definitely see myself getting into this, because I am very much a simulation kind of guy. I love simulated games. I love being able to run a base, a colony, whatever you want to call it, like base management, base building. I really love games like that. Those are really fun. And like as Raji said, I think the graphics and the colors and everything look really cool too. They're all very flashy and stand out to you. So yeah, well done, Dave. I hope the response for Stella Nova for this Steam Next Fest this week has been great to you. And glad you came by the channel. And I literally just while we're recording this podcast just dropped a like on your official trailer. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. But yeah, anyone listening out there, definitely check out Stella Nova. It is on Steam, made by Dave. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Play the demo if you haven't. And if you like it, drop a wish list. Those wish lists really do help and support indie game development. All right, that being said, we're going to move on to our next game. We've got another update from Borderlands 4. And the last time we talked about Borderlands 4, we had Cash as a new playable character to the game. And shamefully enough, we have not actually went back to Borderlands 4 since before that time. So I feel like I am missing out on a lot on Borderlands 4 these days. But we do have an all-new Vault Hunter coming alongside Story Pack 2. This character is called Loveless, who is an ex-hacker turned assassin. And is like all about cybernetics and stuff like that. This trailer was released on June 18th, which was a few days ago. So we have another playable character being added to Borderlands 4 in a paid story pack here for Borderlands 4. Let's take a look at the trailer. All right, didn't really give a whole lot. I was hoping for some gameplay of the character or something, but didn't really show it. Just kind of showed her off as in an animated style, and just lets us know her name is Loveless, the hacker, and what it's coming September 2020. Hey, September, hey, coming out September for Borderlands. Even our boy over at Mr. Pitchford knows September's that soft spot for 2026 right now. But it shows the Loveless kit that you get for paying for this story pack 2 for Borderlands 4. Shows off the character here. Looks kind of like almost like an Overwatch character a little bit, just from what I'm seeing here. But this looks intriguing. Like, I wish that we had gotten to see a little bit of gameplay, what her abilities are, how her weapons work, stuff like that would have been nice. But I'm already locked into Borderlands 4 anyway. I'm already being dived in on achievements, so I'm basically being forced to play this regardless. So I'm kind of just stuck and locked in anyway. But Raji, what do you feel about Borderlands 4? This is another, I believe this is the second or third paid add-on for Borderlands 4 now, a second brand new character being added. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Borderlands is doing the right thing here by offering free and paid expansions / add-ons to the game, or do you think they should be taking a different route here?
I think they're doing fine. I think it's just an equal balance of, people who don't want to pay anything gets their share, and then people who are willing to fork out money also gets the love. So they're doing it the right way. Also, I'm with you. I don't think I've played Borderlands since we talked about the last DLC or the last character came out. Even before then, I really need to go back and play that game. So, but yeah, this I kind of like the blade and what looks like a grappling hook. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the grappling hook, or if it's like a whip or something. Everyone knows I
It
love.
kind of reminds me of the what's that weapon? Chains of Olympus.
Oh yeah, the Kratos thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also noticed here with an asterisk at the very bottom, Loveless the Hacker is the second of 2 post-launch DLC story packs coming to Borderlands 4. Has 2 parts, a new map and a narrative content, and a new Vault Hunter, Loveless the Hacker. This content is included with Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition. So that's the edition I have. So I'm already locked in on that. The Borderlands 4 Vault Hunter pack, it comes with that if you have that, and is also available for separate purchase. Base game is required, obviously. So coming out September 2026, Borderlands will also be entering the fray, the battlefield of everyone fighting for everyone's attention, and that fall part of 2026. Grem, what do you think about Loveless the Hacker? And do you think Borderlands 4 is doing it the right way here with the DLC story packs?
I think so. I mean, with Cash looks like a very unique and different character that made Borderlands feel a little bit different. I expect Loveless to also potentially do the exact same. The weapon you guys are talking about also potentially looks like a flail, like a techno flail potentially. So it could be a whip, could be a flail, could be a grappling hook. I mean, who knows? I like you. I wish we kind of saw a little bit more. I know, the green looks awesome. But other than that, yeah, we might need just a little bit more just to kind of see what her abilities are going to be like. Maybe she'd be like Sombra from like Overwatch. I know you had mentioned that earlier. So yeah, I mean, but they're doing it correctly and kind of going like one at a time. Just when you kind of feel like, okay, it's, cash has run its course, you get another one. So no, they're doing pretty good on that. So, but hopefully we see more of Loveless and her kit eventually, sooner rather than later.
Yep, absolutely. And also, by the way, just on staying on the Borderlands 4 and Randy Pitchford kind of news here, for anyone listening to this, actually, by the time anyone listens to this, it's going to be past Father's Day. Which, by the way, happy Father's Day to everybody. He did release a special Father's Day golden key for Borderlands 4 on social media today. So go check out his Twitter, Randy Pitchford. It's probably posted on the Borderlands Twitter as well. Go redeem your golden vault key today for Father's Day, just as a little add-on there. All right, moving on. We're moving on to an MMO of a game I literally have never played in my life, but I know these other two fellas here have actually played a little bit of it throughout its lifespan, and it is back in the news cycle again because they know 2027 era for video games is probably the hottest and best probably year span of video games in the history of video games. I would die on that mountain, honestly, compared to any other era, year, whatever. And they recognize this, and they are also jumping in on this. But we got a trailer here released on June 16th from Star Wars The Old Republic. Yes, even that game is coming out of the woodwork here in summer 2026. Let's take a look at the trailer.
You will never win.
Not only did you disobey a direct order, but come to find out, you ran off to meet with Darth Jadis? What were you thinking?
To stand against Jadis, you're going to need my help. And you'll need them too. If we're going to succeed, we will all have a part to play. May the Force be with you both. The Mandalorians need all the support they can get. This is a turning point for the galaxy, for all of us.
Hedda, I'm coming for you.
By the Force.
Move or die. I will make way for a new galactic order.
Wow. Like I said, I have no experience with this game whatsoever. I don't think I've ever played it ever in any iteration of it. And I know it's been out for a long time. Star Wars The Old Republic is a long time MMORPG. And just to briefly go over the synopsis here, the finale to Legacy of the Sith is here. Watch the Star Wars The Old Republic Legacy Reborn launch trailer for this game update 7.9 for the MMORPG. Darth Jadis has stolen the key to Darth Null's masterworks, and the race to the forgotten fortress of Naga Sadao on Kar Xian has begun. In the Legacy Reborn update, the battle transcends your own perspective. For the first time, take control of your allies and unique gameplay to reach the final showdown. With Malgus Shai Vizsla and the Hidden Chain converging on the Sith Moon, the outcome will determine the fate of the galaxy. Game Update 7.9 Legacy Reborn is available now in Star Wars The Old Republic. So there you go. An update, a free update to Star Wars The Old Republic, Legacy of the Sith. Looks like they are jumping in, as I said, into this crazy and just magical time for video games in 2026. They didn't want to skip the beat. And, just looking at this trailer as very much a casual outsider of this game, this looks really fun. I'm not like a huge hardcore Star Wars fan, but I do enjoy it. This looks like it'd be a blast playing with friends, working together. doing stuff, accomplishing tasks, whatever. Raji, I know you had a kind of a comment about this when you first saw this before we started the podcast. What are your thoughts on this? A free update all these years later for Star Wars: The Old Republic. Do you think this is the perfect timing? And what are your experiences with this game?
I didn't play it. Last time I played this, oh, Graham, help me out. When was the last time I played with you? It was like, what, 10 years ago?
Something maybe like that. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I haven't touched this game. Honestly, I thought it was dead, to be honest with you. So to see this kind of is shocking a little bit. But this isn't the Old Republic I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for that remake of Knights of the Old Republic, and that's a different episode. But yeah, whenever Knights of the is in front of that, let me know.
All right. Well, you know us. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it because that was also something that caught my interest when I first heard about that. Grim, I know you definitely have some experience with the Old Republic. I remember you playing this a lot there for a long time. What are your thoughts on this? A free update? Will this draw you back into the game again? Is this enough? And do you think? What are your overall thoughts on there?
I've been kind of dipping into the game again. Not because of this. Just had the itch. I mean, the game itself right now, it seems like a lot of the dungeons or flashpoints, you just kind of breeze through. The story aspect is kind of gone when it comes to multiplayer side. But if you're looking for a game to kind of play like single player, the storyline, like the story itself is still there. They've kind of moved on from like the voice acting and moving into more like, hey, make your decision a little bit quicker. But if you do, light side, dark side, things of that nature. The thing that we saw in this trailer and they're kind of testing out is that yes, you can play as your companions. The two that you saw there have been helping you throughout most of the expansion of the Eternal Throne, and then I'm trying to think the Darth that you saw. I think it's Darth Malgus. The thing is that you can actually, instead of playing as your character, you're not going to play as your companions. When the Throne of the Eternal came out, like they gave you every companion. So before, if you were a Jedi Knight, you only had like 5 companions that you can have, and they were specifically for your class. When they came out with that expansion, they're like, no, you can have it all. You just got to go through the storyline. You'll unlock everyone, and you can pick and choose which one you like. BioWare did a really good job in terms of that, making it feel like a RPG aspect to it, but the MMO part of this game has kind of gone by the wayside. It doesn't feel like much when you go to the main the main stations, excuse me. You can see people walking around and everything, but when you do flashpoints, it's usually pretty quick. You're just running through stuff. You're not interacting. You're not choosing things for like story to change it one way or the other. I will say though, on the times that I've done flashpoints, a lot of times when you pop in, a lot of them will say hello and hi and all of that. So it's not just like run and gun. They're actually, people talking. But it feels more like a single player game now, not too much of a multiplayer game, unless you have friends like you alluded to before that you can kind of group up and have fun and kind of go through the story and everything. And make choices that really matter. But game's been out for a good while now. My worry is that this is maybe the last one. This is the last one that they're going to work on and do.
Good.
So, wow, dang man. Just end of an era kind of stuff. Have a little bit, a little more sympathy, I guess. But nonetheless, it looks really good.
Well,
yeah,
Rob,
Star Wars: New Republic coming soon.
So that is BioWare behind that one as well?
What? Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, the one Raji's clamoring up for. Is that BioWare?
I'm trying to think.
Yes, it's BioWare Obsidian.
Oh.
Okay. Because if it was not BioWare, I would be over here like, Well, if you want them to stop working on this game, where do you want BioWare to go? But I guess we know the answer to that now. All right, well, there you go. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Even they are coming out of the Sith shadows to drop a free 7.9 update here in 2026. Moving on, we're going to talk about an indie game that has completely taken over the video gaming world by storm lately. And we actually had a chance to play this last night for a multiplayer night as well. So we actually have a little bit of a personal experience with this game ourselves for a change, rather than just having preview thoughts. But this one's called MECCA CHAMELEON. I'm sure you've all heard of this one. Let's take a look at the very short announced trailer. Well, there you go, short and to the point. I like how, even in the trailer, they tried to do the black and white checker mark floor, which is something that I tried to do last night. And Puppy came around the corner and just immediately saw me and shot me. Well, actually, no, he immediately saw me, then proceeded to laugh, and then he shot me. Make sure I get those in order. But this, I didn't really know what to expect on this game going in. I know I had seen I think we've all seen the social media, the TikToks, everything blowing up about this game, people playing this here recently. It's definitely seems to have taken over and become the new thing. And I was glad that we were able to like play a little bit of it last night. I think we did like 6 or 7 rounds. And it was pretty fun, actually. I would love to see, I think what we came to the conclusion to last night is that we'd love to see and give this game another shot tomorrow or next time when we have a actual full stack, like a max. I know you can have up to 10 people, and then it says after that the game might get a little unstable if you have more players in the same lobby after the 10. But still, I would still like to see at least 10 next time. I think that would make for some really fun moments and everything, because I think it was just 4 of us last night playing it, taking turns. But yeah, the painting thing kind of threw me for a loop at the start, because there's really a kind of a lot to soak in on that, how the mode works, what the proper buttons are to use, and you're on a time limit, so it's not like you can sit there and take your time and paint carefully and delicately. You are under a time limit before the hunter comes into the place and starts trying to find you. So you are like really trying to paint fast and blend into whatever it is you've decided to chameleon yourself into the environment. But I think that's a really cool thing that we've not seen before. Obviously, we've had prop hunts for years, but never one where you actually get to like customize your guy quite like this, your little guy, and paint it how you want with the designs that you want to help try to blend into whatever it is you're trying to chameleon yourself into. But yeah, it's got a really fun take to it. I can see why this game has taken off and has went viral. And after last night's session that we did, I would love to play more of this. I can see why it's addicting. It was a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, I would love to see what it would be like with like a lot more players jumping into this. RAJI, do you have any experience with MECCA CHAMELEON? I'm sure you've seen like the social media viral clips and stuff of other people playing this. The one that I want to point out before I send it over to you is I saw one where there's like a Mona Lisa picture. And maybe this is the one that everyone has seen. I don't know, but
yes, it is. I was about to talk about that.
Okay, I'll pass it over to you then.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can get on TikTok and watch actual artists play this game, and they are like getting the fine details to the point where they are 100% blended into that photo, like that wherever they're at, really good. And it's wild to see. And I think this is going to blow up to be one of the biggest multiplayer games of the year, kind of like what Peak did last year. Just because of the replayability, the different levels. I don't know if they're mod levels. I knew I saw somebody playing Bikini Bottom. I saw another one in it looked like a Terrifier level in the movie. But yeah, I think this game is going to blow up like Peak did last year, and I haven't yet to try it, but I can't wait to.
it breaks my heart because I love Peak to death, but Aggro Crab have already confirmed like they're doing like one more update and they're basically done with Peak, and that makes me so sad because it's like no, I know you're trying to focus on Crash Out Crew, but no, come on, Peak is so good. Don't just drop it like that. Come on. And then this game comes out and you're like, no, I want my Peak. No, Mecha Chameleon, you go back to wherever you came from. You're not going viral. Peak is still the one. And I felt the same way about Phasmophobia. Before that, I was like, no, Phasmo is it. You get back into your development box, whatever game it is. Phasmo is it. So it's funny how we get grown to certain attachments to certain games that have come out and blown up, become viral, that we have personal attachments to over time. And I'm sure over time, this one will also grow on me as much as Phasmo did and Peak has done, and Power Wash Simulator before that. And it just takes time. And it's those multiplayer experiences and moments that you share with your friends playing that really builds that up for sure. Grim, what are your thoughts on Mecha Chameleon? We played it last night. Overall thoughts, did you think the UI for painting was a little bit too hard to understand, especially when you're under a time limit and you have to paint? Could they make that a little easier? What was your overall thoughts of playing the game?
Yeah, there was a big learning curve on trying to figure out like eye drop, the drop thingy, and it took me a while just to learn how to thicken or thin my paintbrush. Ultimately, I mean, yeah, this game is taking the internet by storm. A lot of people love it. I've been seeing some of those videos too on artists that are just basically just doing what they do, and it just looks so real, and like it's just part of the game, and you're watching them create it and you're like, wow, I'll never be like that. But then you've got some other people that are just doing like, it's not stupid, but like very, very like out there, where it's like, yeah, you could see them, like you see them, but you don't realize that it is them. Kind of like what I did last night with the little can thing and try to like lean over and then trying to blend into the wall and everything. So yeah, there's they've also been trying to fix this one as well. I know there was one room where it was like completely pitch black, and you were able to get like really close to that pitch black area, and all you had to do is paint your character black and you couldn't really see. And also what RAJI was saying too, I saw one from like Mario 64 as well as one of the levels. So that's another thing too with this game, with mods and everything like that, that can really outstretch the life of this game. But yeah, it's definitely taken a lot of streamers have been playing this game a lot, and I mean it's a really fun game. Definitely a lot more fun when you have more people. I'd say, sweet spot usually is like 8, I would say, when you have like one hunter and then 7 people hiding, and then just kind of like snowballs from there, from what I've seen from streams. Hopefully we get that one day. But yeah, it's a very fun game. Definitely worth gosh, what was it? It was only like $6, right?
Yeah, I believe it's pretty cheap right now. So
yeah, so I mean, definitely, you got a couple of friends or a community that loves to play multiplayer games, is definitely one on the list that you guys should be getting.
So I've got to point out, we got to tell, if you can remember anyway, because I can remember one for you, or actually 2 for you if you can't. But from last night's our hiding spots, I hid. I can't remember all of mine, but I do remember I painted myself under a desk on the black and white checkered floor, and I tried to match the black and white checkers, and he came into the hallway, laughed, and immediately saw me. So that didn't work. The other one was I painted myself fully green and put myself on the backside of a shirt hanging on a clothesline that was next to a wall. And that took a little bit of more time to find me. But the whistle, I had just the worst luck on those whistles, because every time it was like whistle counter time, he would be like right there. Someone would be like right there and would immediately know. It was never like they're across the map and then I whistled. They were literally like in the same room as me, and they'd be like, dang it, bad timing. So that was my second one. Another one I did, and the funny one was I sat up in a pumpkin patch like an evil doll, painted myself orange, And he actually walked past me like 2 or 3 times. And even people in my Twitch chat were like, really? He didn't see you? I was literally just sat there like a little doll next to some pumpkins, and I was orange. And then the other one I can remember was, 2 more actually. Maybe I'll remember all of them. I painted myself to match the top of a barn on the side of the barn with like the red and white trim, and was up there for quite some time. He walked past me a few times and didn't see me until the whistle gave me away. But that was another one. And then the last one was I painted myself completely brown and glued myself underneath a piano, like a piece of bubble gum. I was under the piano, and that one took a while for them to find me. But I think the whistle again gave me away. But that one was really fun because, there's always in these prop hunt games, there's always fun of like the person just walking past you and you're like, oh my God, he didn't see me. Ha ha ha. That's the fun part of it. But all right, Graham, what were your hidey holes from last night?
Well, the first one was the I did not know, like it was telling me that I had covered too much of my body and that it was going to show me. And you were the hunter, and you're like, why is it glowing like this? And I was like, and then you shot, and I was like, oh okay.
Yeah, you're flashing red.
Yeah, and I did not realize that until like maybe game 3. I was like, oh, that's why. But yeah, some of my spots were right next to a washing machine. I did brick wall, which was one of my best ones actually. That I tried to do. It was really high up too, so I thought maybe like no one would see it. I did one where I was like a little cactus flower plant. Trying to remember. There was one where I was the handle for the crushed barrel that got puppy a couple times. There was one where I was I'm trying to remember. I tried to play off as a handle from one of the blue crates, and then the last one we did was I painted like half of the wall and I was kind of sitting down, kind of like how you were with your doll. I was doing the sit down, and I did like half my body was the wall, the other half was like the crate that I was on. So yeah, like I said, it's a very fun game, and definitely we need to get more peeps on there. Like I said, I think sweet spot's like 8.
Yeah. Did you mention the one where you were up against like the bundle of poles and you're like trypophobiaing yourself with like the dots?
Oh yeah. I remember
that's
that.
the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the handle on the barrel thing. Yeah. I was trying to do like dots. Yeah, at the end because that was like the last one left.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I remember I walked in and I just saw like magically a dot appear. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah. All right, MECCA Chameleon, everyone, definitely check it out. You can take it from us. It is a fun game, especially with tons of friends. There's a reason why it's blowing up and becoming viral. It's a lot of fun. I mean, everyone loves a prop hunt game. They've been around forever, but this certainly is a new take on it for sure. All right, moving on from one very fun and addicting game we did last night to another one. And this one was actually recommended to me by our good friend OG Brad Vickers, who we will, Evan Saba, who we should have on this podcast as a special guest very soon. But he's stubborn and too humble for his own good. But he recommended this to me, and he even actually mentioned that maybe we should have a Team Tad versus Team Evan dodgeball tournament, 16 versus 16, because I believe it supports up to 32. But this one's called DODGEBRAWL. We played this last night. Let's take a look at the trailer. Nice. The pretty funny moments in that trailer. I like when he turns around, gets hit in the face with a shovel. But yeah, this is Dodge Brawl. We played this last night. We did a couple of 3v3s. It was me, Coke, Asterial, Hype, Maggie, and Roxas playing together, and we did just randomized teams each time, 3-on-3. We tried the two different maps available in the demo. We tried the different balls types. You can change from like dodgeball, basketball, wrench, beach ball, bombs themselves where they explode. Really fun game. I remember just everyone walking away from this after we were done, just going, okay, we're all wish listing this. We all need this now, added to the rotation. And I completely agree. I think we have, as a community, have been that usually plays the multiplayer, have all been kind of just like dying to scratch the itch of like some kind of dodgeball game. And I don't mean that just because of what the pratfall lobby is like with the knights, the glow sticks or whatever. But there's always been this like missing void of like having a good dodgeball game where you can have just a ton of people in there playing dodgeball. Maybe I'm just saying that because that's personally what I've wanted, but it's really awesome to see that someone has come out with a game like this that and allows you to have a mass amount of people playing. It's just sheer chaos the more people you get in there, and it's dodgeball. I mean, who doesn't love dodgeball? Dodgeball is fun as hell. And getting it in this kind of video game is really awesome. I really enjoyed this demo last night. This was a super amount of fun. And you know what, Evan, if you want a 16 versus 16 dodgeball tournament with Team Croakitoad versus Team OG Brad Vickers, you're on, buddy. We just got to get our teams assorted. That's what I say. Raji, what do you think about Dodge Brawl? I know you weren't there last night as we play the trailer again to catch us playing, but maybe you have experience or seen this game, or just your thoughts from the trailer overall.
I like the movie reference of if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So I was like, what's the wrench there? And then I saw him throw it. I was like, oh, it's that kind of game. So yeah, it looks fun. Yeah, I have no experience, first time seeing it, and can't wait to try it.
Yeah, there were a lot of people getting hit in the face with a wrench last night, and the very slow moving beach balls that you can see coming an hour away, right, Grem?
Hey now. You took your fair share of balls to the face too.
I did.
You did.
Big ones and small ones.
Yep.
Whoa.
The game itself seems very, very simple in terms of like how like pixelated it looks in a way, but very smooth. I feel like if nothing else, the like the throwing like power just felt a little off with like the dodgeball to me. But ultimately, we didn't get a chance to play like capture the flag or get the flag carrier. It looks like we could have played with like the shovel and boomerang. Probably not in the demo though, but it looks like that'll be coming out. So it's gonna be more than just like you being in a gym and trying to dodge balls basically. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. I know Rox has found that you can actually catch the ball when it's thrown to you, and I don't know about wrench though. I don't think we tested that, but the modes were there. What I like too is that when one person went into the area for setting up the game, like that was the only person that could be in there. So this way, no one was kind of blocking your view. They could concentrate on actually setting up the game correctly. I thought that was a nice little touch because sometimes people try to get in the way of like someone who's trying to actually get the game started. But yeah, overall, this is probably the most fun demo that we did last night that I personally had a blast with. There was a lot of them too that I wish we could get to, but this was like one of my top ones for sure. Can't wait for the game to come out. And it's definitely probably going to be in the rotation. And you're right. Like if OG Brad Vickers wants to bring his team and get smashed in the face with a couple of balls, but Team Croakitoad will oblige.
That's right. You hear it here. If you ever hear this, Evan, bring it on.
Yeah, we'll be waiting.
Yeah, we'll recreate the dodgeball movie for Twitch. All right. Well, that was Dodgebrawl. Check it out on Steam. Definitely play the demo. Get some friends. You'll love it. You will have a blast. I guarantee it. All right. We have 2 games left to cover this week. This one is a very familiar game to all of us. And they have a new... is this just a trailer for a new mob they're adding? Okay. Let's just play the trailer real quick. Then we'll go over the synopsis and give our thoughts. Well, there you go. Minecraft is back again, just like Star Wars: The Old Republic before. Minecraft is still hanging in and still dropping updates here in the year 2026, never to be outdone by anybody else. Love Minecraft. I very much cherish Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Through all the, I have so many memories from it, and to see another update for a new mob here is just awesome. It's heartwarming to always see a new update for Minecraft for sure. This was dropped June 16th, and the synopsis says Chaos Cubed has landed in Minecraft. Watch the latest Minecraft trailer for a peek at what to expect with the Chaos Cubed mob. Hunt for sulfur springs, build with colorful cinnabar and sulfur, and uncover the sulfur cube's relentless appetite for blocks. The unpredictable mob unlocks new ways to build, compete, and survive depending on what you feed it. Chaos Cubed is available today, June 16th in Minecraft. So basically it looks like a free update. You get the new mob here, the Chaos Cube, and it sounds like it's just going to add a whole lot of more razzle dazzle to your Minecraft expeditions and adventures. Just like we thought with the original Creeper was bad enough. Now you get these bouncing cubes that have all kinds of different kind of blocks inside of them, including TNTs that can really mess up your day. We didn't get really any in-game footage of what this is going to look like. It's more like an animated trailer more than anything. So I would have liked to seen something in-game as to how this all works. But nevertheless, it's Minecraft. You can't go wrong. Raji, what are your thoughts about this? Another mob being added to Minecraft. They're just constantly just adding more and more and more to Minecraft. I think there's a certain charm to that.
Well, your poor achievement account right now is not 100% anymore because this added another achievement to the game.
That's okay. We've got it. That's what we have achievement servers for, buddy.
I'm pretty sure I don't know. We're probably behind like 5 updates on achievements. I don't know. If you've been
You
keeping up
speak
with
for
them.
yourself there, Sport. I'm actually all caught up other than this one.
Did you stream it all? No.
No, I didn't stream it. No.
Because you suck. Yeah. Anyway, it's only 1 achievement. Sounds super easy, and all it says is have a sulfur cube absorb a TNT block. Super easy. Doesn't seem like it's going to take that much time at all. So, no big deal. Minecraft is approaching 3,000 gamer score, and this looks like an interesting update with the cubes absorbing different blocks. It looks like they can travel far just from the trailer. Travel far and fast, so that could be an important thing to take note of. And yeah.
All right, Graham, what do you think about this new update? It's the Chaos Cubed, and they can evolve almost like a chameleon, almost like a mecha chameleon into whatever block they touch.
Yeah, kind of an interesting spin. I mean, obviously, Minecraft is known for the cube-shaped layouts and everything. So now it's basically whatever you feed it is now what the cube is, and it's got a cute little face. You know, I mean, it's good that they're coming up with new stuff because I mean, Minecraft has been a hit for a good while now. It's a really good game and very simple. I don't know. I guess this just throws another layer into like the game mechanic. Maybe ultimately, like you had said, depending on what you feed the cube, it either helps or hurts you. More than likely, though, you can use it for good and help maybe craft something a little bit faster. So yeah, I think it's a nice little interesting spin on the Minecraft world, and maybe they'll make another movie about it.
And then one thing I would like to point out here as I scroll down on this trailer, it says Minecraft 2009. Does that make any of us feel old?
Mm.
It's wild. It's wild.
It is wild though.
Man, almost, what would that be? We're what, 3 years away from, what would it be, 30 years? No. 20 years, right?
20-year-old game.
2029 would be 20 years old. Minecraft. Holy moly, man. Wow. All right, we've got one more game to cover here. And this one is an update for a game that we do actually occasionally play from time to time for our multiplayer nights. This is Helldivers 2, and they actually have a Census Thunder trailer that was dropped on June 16th as well. So let's take a look at this and grab our cups of liberty.
The Ministry of Truth presents the Front Lines of Freedom. Let's hear it for our heroes of Super Earth. Thanks to their continued sacrifice, mutated Terminids are being cleared from former luxury planets, eliminating the vacation time that was dangerously slowing the growth of freedom. But at the precipice of victory, a new threat looms. Across the galaxy, newly formed voids are unleashing endless waves of unregistered biological entities. Helldivers are now tasked with preventing these anti-democratic organisms from infiltrating our barracks, while securing valuable frontline intelligence for Super Earth. The more we learn, the closer we get to unlocking the void itself. Participation is strongly encouraged, and our inevitable success will be recognized with a fantastic morale enhancement package. Of course, the only way to receive this item is to join the fight and see us on the Front Lines of Freedom.
The Front Lines of Freedom. Helldivers 2, Machinery of Oppression. And we have the campaign brief for Census Thunder trailer for this third-person action co-op shooter as the Ministry of Truth breaks down what you can expect, including new void threats, deploying Illuminate forces across the galaxy. Take up arms, drop into affected planets to investigate the threat, gather intel, earn your choice of new fast recon vehicle. I think that's like the biggest drop from this trailer is the two new vehicles you can get here. Helldivers 2 available now on PS5, PC, and Xbox. And of course, as I said, we have played this from time to time for our multiplayer nights. I know a few people will be super excited about this, super stoked to get one of those two new vehicles that they're dropping here. It sounds like there's a little bit more story going into it with like the void and who the void is, and the void's dropping around different locations that you can go to do your missions. And of course, in Helldivers fashion, you get the poses with all the enemies coming at them and everything. Really funny. That's the Helldivers way, but looks like just a nice little update here for Helldivers 2 as well to get people nice and updated for the game there. And first comment that I see as I scroll down, comment right on top. Actually, we'll say the first two. Actually, the first three. These are all good. First comment, I guess I'll do another tour. Second comment, y'all sure know how to bring a soldier back from retirement. Third comment, I will re-enlist today. So the Helldivers fan base are getting amped up and ready for this. It's a new and fun addition to play the game that they definitely know and love. I, again, wouldn't call myself a huge Helldivers fan. I'm not like hardcore into it, but it is fun. I love the 4-player aspect. The combat's very fluid, and my God, is it fun to just drop nukes and cause explosions and just watch the carnage. It's so much fun. Raji, what do you think about this new update here for Helldivers 2, dropping 2 new vehicles that you can choose from and just a little bit more story depth, and it's just something for Helldivers, the Helldivers fan base, to get excited about in a year that's just all about video game updates, releases, sequels, and everything else.
I've only ever played this on multiplayer nights, so I have like little to no experience in this game. I don't even know the story of it, so really have no input on this trailer. But I know that this game has a diehard fan base behind it.
Absolutely, yeah. If you meet a Helldivers person that loves to play Helldivers, they're going to tell you that they love playing Helldivers online. That's for sure. Graham, what are your thoughts on Helldivers 2? I don't believe you've ever joined us for Helldivers yet, have you? But I think you said that you were interested in it.
I am interested in it. No, I don't even own the game, but yeah, it's little things like this. I've seen also videos too on how much, not only how the community is very, very passionate about this game, but there are certain like squads or guilds or however you want to call it, clans that, you know, do certain little things like liberate. What's the word I'm looking for? I lost my wording there. I'm sorry, but no, they go into like different like hard planets and try to help other people liberate. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's funny too because as you're showing on the thing, you decide on which one to pick. It's not like you get both, right? So they do little things like this. I saw one where there's 2 different planets, but you can only pretty much, you know, help one of them and not the other. And it was like one gave you a big, like a prize, and the other one didn't really give you much of anything. And the community actually chose the one where they didn't really get anything. And what they, developers of the game did was how many creature or bugs that they killed, they donated that to a children's charity. So this game itself has a lot of love behind it, and I really wish I had gotten it right in the beginning. Who knows? Maybe it's not too late to enlist. You know, I really feel like I need to.
Yeah, I think if we just, because this is usually just tacked on to multiplayer night with there's another bundle of games, so we do like maybe 1 or 2 rounds. But I think if we actually ever like sat down and just had a dedicated night just to playing this and really deep diving into this with like a full stack, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd go over really well, and then you should also be included in that.
I agree. I think just with communication alone and teamwork, like one of the games we played last night was based on teamwork and everything. So just imagine we're like, you know, dropping bombs and being in strategic points and everything. Yeah, I feel like our community could really shine with this game if we had a dedicated night, really.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that is your Helldivers 2 update. Something for all Helldivers soldiers to get excited about, and as they continue to sip their cup of liberty. All right, we have one bit of gaming news left to get to. Big gaming block this week, but this one was dropped on, I believe, June 15th, so definitely last week. And we talked about Halo Campaign Evolved on last week's episode. I got very emotional about it because I was an idiot and decided to talk about Halo, Spyro, and Gears of War back to back to back. That was a terrible mistake because it hit me right in the feels. But
it wasn't back to back to back.
Was it? Was it not?
No, Gears was in the middle, and then you had Halo and Spyro towards the end.
Oh, okay.
And that was when he got emotional. That because the joke was, man, imagine if he did all 3 back to back to back, we'd be here a while.
Okay. Well, it 7 days later feels like it was back to back because it still hit me just as hard. But nevertheless, we have the Halo Campaign Evolved achievements. I think we probably talked about that last week. Where we're like, man, I don't know what the achievements are going to be like. If it's going to be like Lazo or what were they going to do? Well, we have them now here, and we're looking at it straight from my good friends over at True Achievements, and they were dropped. And honestly, Halo Campaign Evolved doesn't look too terribly bad for the most part. It's just your basic run-of-the-mill defeat Halo 1 game. You just got like complete all the levels. And then, of course, you got the new missions that they are adding into the game. Easy, normal, heroic, legendary difficulties. course, it's also very important to point out that this will have 4-player co-op as campaign as well. So it's not just 1 player or 2 player like the old game. This will have 4 players. So keep that in mind on these achievements as well. You've got activate all 13 terminals, which, easy. Find all the skulls in each of the different levels, plus the 3 new missions as well. So you got to get every skull in the game. Collect all 39 skulls. Is an achievement, and terminals, of course. So that's just, using a walkthrough or whatever. Then you have the remixed missions, one without dying, an entire remix campaign without dying. It doesn't include a difficulty for that, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with remix if they have come attached with a difficulty permanent or if you can choose that. Destroy 100 grunt backpacks, break off 2,500 backplates, hijack 10 vehicles, dismember 100 flood parts. These are all just pretty run-of-the-mill. Just play the game. You'll get them eventually. 100 headshots. Floor is lava skull activated. Beat a mission without jumping or dying. Temperamental skull activated. Beat Halo without upsetting anyone. Complete 2 betrayals with the speed limit, endurance spec, hit fire, and armistice skulls. Equip Famine, Recession, Johnny Ammo, Seed, Skulls, and beat a mission without running out of ammo. What I'm going to assume there is that your ammo slowly goes away over time, like a countdown. And as you kill more enemies, your ammo fills back up. That's just my assumption on that. Complete the campaign with, okay, here's the big one. Mythic achievement for 50 gamer score. Complete the campaign with Lazo enabled. So that's legendary, all skulls on for those that don't know.
Yep, I called it last week.
Which means legendary is the hardest difficulty in the game, and you have every single skull on. So that will be very interesting to see if the 4-player aspect will actually work against you for this achievement, and whether it's just better to play it in solo with all skulls on. We don't know every single skull yet. They might have thrown a few curveballs in there or taken some out that we're familiar with. So we won't really know the perfect strategy until the game's out. But that is definitely the big one. Beat the entire game with LASO. Then you have Captain Keys trap his 6 avenging Marines in Autumn's. Oh my God, that one. That's funny. That's a nice little original Easter egg there. Silent cartographer without shooting using grenades melee. Okay, that's the stealth one. Assault and controller and get to the Banshee before the elite. Yeah, because in this game, you can actually get into vehicles. You can get into Banshees, unlike in the original Halo where you had to do some sort of weird manipulation to actually get into a Banshee, that specific Banshee. I guess this one, it will allow you to do that. And there's also other vehicles that will appear in the campaign that weren't originally there that you can use as well. They've really added a bunch that wasn't featured in the original game here from what I've seen. 343 Guilty Spark, first floor without taking a hit. Maw, complete Warthog run without forcibly ejected from your vehicle. And then we have an achievement for one of the new missions. Thirsty Grunt, talk about his eating habits. Nice little Easter egg there. Complete any level in heroic difficulty or higher without taking health damage. Okay, so that makes me think, can you just do that in multiplayer and then 3 people stays back and then 1 person just beats the level for you? Those are just
do that on the silent cartographer.
Right? That's just like my achievement horror brain coming out and just trying to immediately solve these. Complete every achievement, collect every trophy is an achievement as well. So, and just for giggles, we'll just mention the first 3 comments that we have here in this thread. First one, how about instead of the umpteenth re-release, you guys make a decent new Halo game? Other studios are making great narrative stories in a cave with a box of scraps. Okay, so this guy obviously not a fan of this. Second comment, I love to always more Halo. Okay, fair enough. And third comment, hell yeah, should be a 2.0 ratio at the bare minimum and bring it on. So some of the achievement boys obviously eyeing that mythic achievement for 50 where you have to beat the entire game with Lazo enabled. That would definitely be the big one to keep your eyes peeled out for when this game drops on July 28th, which is almost a little bit over a month away, or July 23rd, who has the premium, of course. So that's almost a month away. So
Day 1 Game Pass release.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, after looking at all of this, Raji, what are your thoughts? Do you think Lazo is going to be a pain in the butt cheeks?
It might be a pain in the cheeks, but that's going to make some for some great entertainment on stream for you.
Indeed.
Get a 4-stack trying to do that achievement. Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, because I think one of those skulls is like if one person drops, you restart at the beginning. Like there's no
Yep.
like wait back until he respawns crap. You one person drops, you
again-
restart. So
Then again, they could have changed the skulls. They could have changed the skulls to be different than the OG, because I know there were some unforgiving skulls in the OG. They could make them worse or make them a little easier. I think they're going to do a bit of both. I think we're going to get some easier skulls, and then they're going to give us some skulls we never heard of that makes it like WTF levels of. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what some people were saying with the like in the Halo Master Chief Collection. They kind of changed some of the skulls around in the original Halo for that as well. So there's no telling if they.
Was I the only one that really enjoyed playing Halo with the confetti skull?
Oh no!
When I would aim to pop the heads of all the little grunts just to see the confetti go off.
No, I think that's one of the best skulls out there. You get to hear the little kids cheering every time. Absolutely.
After struggling for so long at Legendary, you just go back and take your anger out on the little grunts and get your confetti just to cheer you up and motivate you to go back into Legendary.
Oh yeah, yeah. Grim, what do you think? I know you're not too much of an achievement guy, but from what you've seen from this, does anything stand out to you here, or does this make you eager to jump into Halo as kind of a new player at all?
Not for the achievements. Jumping into Halo would be fun, but not for the achievements. Yeah, I do not envy anyone that goes for that really difficult one. That just sounds like a real heartbreaker because again, it's gonna be the hardest achievement. But again, it's a badge of honor, and there are plenty of people out there that are willing to take that challenge head on. And it could take them weeks and days and months, but they'll find a way to do it. So, but yeah, I mean, again, not for the achievement. No, I'm not wanting to join in Halo just for the achievements. No.
You know what the real kick in the nuts is on this entire thing is the fact that Lazo achievement is actually only 50 gamer score. Like seriously?
Yeah, that's kind of low.
That should be, I mean, at least 100, and I would say the same thing about 100.
Yeah,
no, man, you get your other half of that 100 down there at the very bottom.
Oh yeah, beating every other achievement. Yeah.
Yeah, so
They just-
that's
they
your
just know-
consolation because they know that's gonna be the last achievement people do.
Exactly. Yeah. So they know that you're gonna get that 50 and then that other 50, and that'll be it. Still though, 50 achievements. Come on, Xbox. This is 343, right? They're behind this.
So since one of the levels was called 343 Spark.
Well, the robot is called 343. Nevertheless, Xbox, come on, man. 50 gamer score for that Lazo achievement. Come on. I call hacks. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on this. I definitely will. As I said, the game comes out next month. I am super excited and super stoked to play this. I can't wait to see what the achievement boys come up with for like tips, skips, strats to try to manipulate some of these achievements, make them easier, especially that Lazo achievement. I know they're going to be all over this to try to find the best way to and work around for this, especially in co-op. That makes it even better. So yeah, we'll at least I will definitely be watching this one very closely. All right. Well, that'll conclude our gaming block, and we are now moving over to sports. And to kick it off, we're just going to talk. I know the last time we did this podcast, we were kind of on the verge of figuring out who was going to win the Stanley Cup for 2026, but we can actually confirm that here on this episode of the podcast. And for that, I'll pass it over to Grem, who will make that announcement.
Yeah, Game 6 was Carolina and the Vegas Golden Knights. Carolina was actually just, again, the better team. They blanked the Golden Knights 3-0 to win, I believe, their second Stanley Cup in their history. The the Vegas Golden Knights stuck with their goalie Carter Hart, who only gave up 2 goals. But I really feel like, again, from like last week in Game 5, when the series is tied at 2, I think that's when you switch your goalies at that point, just to give your team a different look. I mean, if you're up 3-2, this game looks a lot different, and you have a Game 7. The coach for the Vegas Golden Knights at the time, I'm trying to remember his name, John Tortorelli.
Yeah, he was the interim coach, by the way.
Yes, which was crazy when I actually went back and saw what happened. I think it was like just weeks before the season was going into the playoffs. The Vegas Golden Knights fired their coach, hired Tortorelli, and then fired him after, a couple of days after losing this Stanley Cup. I think ultimately they wanted their AHL coach to be, and they did sign him to be the head coach. They were just kind of bridging the gap. Tortorelli's going to find another job, though. He always does. I remember him at one point. He was coaching the Rangers. He was coaching the Flyers. He will land on his feet. That's not really anything crazy. But for Carolina, again, they were the better team in the Eastern Conference, and now the Stanley Cup itself goes around to different places. I'm sure you'll see pictures all around the world where they, players will take, turns with it. I think they get like a week or something with it, and they can do whatever. I still feel like, though, this is the Stanley Cup is probably the best trophy in all of sports. It'll continuously grow bigger. They write down the names of everyone on that team that won it. You are immortalized in the trophy of the sport you played in. I always am fascinated by it. I love it. I love seeing it. It's really, really cool. And Raji, you brought this up when we were talking about the NBA. I believe it was last week. And at the very end of this series, there is a line. They handshake after just a grueling battle for the Stanley Cup. That's another reason why I love the sport too. It's really, really a sport that a lot of people are sleeping on. But again, Carolina is your Stanley Cup winners. Second time in their history that they won the Stanley Cup, and now they are the team to beat heading into the 2026-2027 season. So there you go. NHL is over as of now.
Yeah, I believe the Stanley Cup is also the largest trophy in the United States. I think that thing it's about 35 inches. I think it's 16-pound trophy, and it's pretty big. So yeah, it's literally the biggest trophy. So I think that's another reason why people gravitate toward it, because it's just
it's just big. I get it. Like, I know NFL with theirs and MLB and all that, NBA, but I mean, nothing compares to like your name being on there, like for the rest of history, basically, or until that sport dies out. But it's still on there. It'll always be there. So, but again, congratulations to Carolina, and we'll talk about Stanley Cup next year, I guess.
Another sport goes down, and our sports block is going to start shrinking here for a couple of weeks, I think, because we got NFL starting up later this year. I don't think there's really a whole lot to talk about in terms of like MLB. I'm certainly
not yet. We're not even at the All-Star break yet. It's a long season, but when we get to the playoffs, for sure, we'll be talking about.
Well, I mean, next week we might have something to talk about college baseball.
Yeah, that is
maybe.
true.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, something that was a very, very out of nowhere thing.
You know what else was very much out of nowhere?
Today's race
with Corey Haim winning and getting absolutely 0 points for it. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Corey Haim coming in for 2311 Racing I don't think he was picked to win at all. And it's crazy that he gets his first career win at a naval base in San Diego. Gets no points awarded because he's not a full-time driver in the Cup Series. There's drivers that'll come up from the O'Reilly or the Truck Series to participate in a handful of races for the Cup Series, and they're not awarded any points. And I think Corey Heim made a great first impression for his first win. This isn't his only race that he's raced for the Cups this year, but he gets his first win. Bubba Wallace comes in second, gets 35 points. Kyle Larson third for 42 points. And then it's just the rest of the top 10 is just drivers you don't hear at the top. Zane Smith, AJ Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Ryan Blaney, and Michael McDowell rounding out your top 10. The biggest news out of this race is the king of road courses, SVG, was looking like to be the dominant driver of this race, and him and Austin Hill on a yellow flag restart. They went 3 wide into a corner, made contact, and it collected a whole bunch of people. I think it collected Christopher Bell, Connor Zilich, Noah Gregson. I think also Stenhouse Jr. was up in that wreck. And the king of road courses was knocked out of the race at that point. He got the pole. He had led 7 laps at that point. He was looking pretty good. And once SVG went out, it made the race exciting because then we got to see competition because they knew SVG was out. And they had to start fighting. And Corey Heim, I know the standings of the race doesn't reflect it, but Corey Heim and Tyler Reddick had a huge battle towards the end of this race for the lead. And Tyler Reddick made a mistake, and Corey Heim took advantage. And then I think Reddick drove it too hard and ran out of fuel or something because Reddick actually ended up finishing 25th. Denny Hamlin finished 14th, which means in the standings, Denny Hamlin is now only 8 points behind Tyler Reddick at the top of the standings. And the biggest jump in the standings, 2 biggest jumps, Riley Herbst jumps up 3 spots, 24th, and Ryan Preece jumps up 3 spots to 16th. So Ryan Preece is in that bubble spot. If the chase will start today, Ryan Preece is in the chase. So, and that is your NASCAR for the week. Next week's race is at Sonoma, another road course.
I'll also point out real quick, just looking at these stats, it looks like most of the race today was basically dominated by Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney. They took up most of the laps.
Yeah, it was these are some long laps. I mean, there's only 75 laps, and this is a 200-mile race. So this is a very long course, very beautiful looking course, and very interesting. A lot of the portions of the course was very interesting. There were some very fast parts, and there was some slow parts. I think someone's top speed at one point was 130 miles an hour, and it was SVG. So there's some fast parts, but the biggest average speed was about 80 miles an hour for the whole race, and having to do that for 75 laps makes for a long day on a road course. And we get another one next week in Sonoma.
Nice. All right. Well, we will keep your eyes peeled on Sonoma, another road course. We know we love those here in our NASCAR report. Moving over to the FIFA World Cup, and that's kind of the thing that's been taken over really here in sports lately. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it over to you from the start because there is so much to unpack. I do know that U.S. beat Australia, so I know I know that.
Yep. Yeah, so we actually have 3 teams now confirmed in the knockout stages. They've clinched their spots, and that would be Germany, the United States, and Mexico. Some of the big things to note here is I touched on it last week. I said that there's never been a World Cup where the entire group played their first game and they all got draws. That happened 3 separate groups, so they made great history last week. But I know Cape Verde in Group H is playing their hearts out. They have 2 draws. They drew with Spain and then they drew with Uruguay today. And Cape Verde is just that. You love a good Cinderella underdog story in sports. I don't care who you are, no matter what sport it is. You're always looking for that that's underdog story. Cape Verde right now is proving to be putting on a show. with being able to draw with Spain and draw with Uruguay. And I believe if they can go in and beat Saudi Arabia, I think Cape Verde sneaks into the knockout round and will be the biggest upset in World Cup history, just to make it into that stage. So another team that is doing better than expected. I can't remember Congo. Congo was not expected to draw with Portugal, but they did. I don't know. Portugal is usually I don't know the name of that player, the famous player for Portugal right now. I don't know if Graham knows, but yeah, Congo is another one of those countries that's playing Cinderella right now. Up in the United States group, in Group D, they have played Paraguay and Australia, and they have beat both of them, so clinched their spot into the knockout stage. You just need 2 wins to clinch a spot. Mexico got their spot in Group A. They're in the same group as South Korea, Czechia, and South Africa. And then Germany, obviously, another strong soccer team. They're in the Group E with Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. So we still have until the 29th, I think, is when the knockout stage starts. A lot more soccer to be played. I do want to touch on the Qatar and Canada game and what is to be just an absolute horrible injury to one of the Canada star players. It was it looked like a clean tackle, but it was poorly timed, and it led to Canada's star player Kone, I don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry, basically snapping his leg in half, and what could possibly be a career-ending injury. It was gruesome, very gruesome. The Qatar player was shaken up. He was upset about it. He didn't care about the red card that he may or may not have gotten. He was more concerned about the injury he had just caused, and he was probably blaming himself. And yeah, so horrible situation. I know there was another gruesome injury in the Iran game. I think it was Iran and I can't remember the other country that was playing. I know it was the Iranian player that got hurt. So soccer is a very dangerous sport because of the sliding tackles. Anything can happen. You can snap a leg, snap an ankle, separate a hip, anything. And so yeah, that's the thing. This time next week we'll know our knockout stage round, our knockout round of 32, and we'll talk more about it next week.
All right. As long as in US is currently 2-0. The only other teams, Mexico is 2-0, Germany 2-0. Only 3 teams so far that are undefeated with 2 wins anyway in the World Cup. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Keep our progression going as we start eliminating teams and getting it down to 32. All right, we're going to move over to wrestling, and we just have a really quick one here. We have Danhausen is back again to continue his story with the Miz. And after what we saw last week, we saw Kit Wilson confronting Danhausen and asking him to help save the Miz because he was electrocuted and with a white streak in his hair, and he was just mumbling off random incoherent catchphrases. And then Kit Wilson got electrocuted as well. And so now they're both incapacitated. And so we're going to check out SmackDown highlights from June 19th episode. This was just a few days ago. And see what Danhausen has been doing to the Miz and Kit Wilson.
All right. Let's see if it worked.
Awesome!
All right, let's try you, Kit.
Toxic!
Ah, pretty good.
Hey, Danhausen.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I thought we had a deal.
What was the deal?
You were supposed to curse the Knicks.
And because you didn't,
We lost thousands of dollars, so you better pay us back.
Oh, no, I can't because they spent all that money on these guys' new hats. Check them out.
Hoorah! Ha ha ha. You think we're joking?
No, I think you are.
Mira, mendigo payasito!
Hey!
I lost my watch, but you don't see me complaining. Then again, my team actually won.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, none of your business, Mr. Tan.
Hey, if you got a problem with Danhausen, you got a problem with me. Let him go. Yeah, let me go. Let him go.
Did you hear that? Better watch your backs.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot, Zack Ryder. That was nice.
I told you, it's Matt. Are these guys all right?
Yeah, they've never been better. Check them out.
Woo, woo, woo.
Whoa. Hey, you okay?
You know it.
Oh my God. So that's the first time I've seen that. They're just continuing the story that we've been getting here lately with the Miz and Danhausen, and now Kit Wilson is thrown into it. We got Los Garza's coming in there talking about how the Spurs lost. They lost money. And not Zach, Matt comes in to basically save Danhausen from getting beaten up. And my God, did they zoom in on his arm? Good Lord, dude is jacked. Jacked to the gills is Matt Cardona there in that shot. Good Lord, sir. Good Lord. But yeah, always a funny segment with Danhausen involved. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm also really interested to see who the Frankenstein is under the sheet. I'm sure we'll get to that eventually. But right now, the Miz and Kit Wilson both electrocuted and under the will of Danhausen, I guess you could say, incapacitated. Grem, what are your thoughts on this segment? Is Danhausen continuing to be comedy gold here? It's definitely a slow burn moving into the next story involving Danhausen here in WWE, but it still contains the usual cast of characters: the Miz, Kit Wilson, the Frankenstein in the background. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I remember talking about it a couple weeks ago about going back to maybe the mentor thing, but it looks like instead they're just kind of trying to get the tag team division a little bit more in the light. Angel and Garza, being there. They look pretty good too, honestly. It's a team that they've kind of fumbled a little bit on. It looks like potentially now too, Matt Cardona and Danhausen might be that tag team. So we talked about when would Danhausen get gold. It might be in the form of tag team. A lot of people were thinking that it's going to be with R-Truth, but it can be with Matt. I mean, why not? He's been a tag team, champ before. He could probably play the heel if need be, if there's a turn in the works. But yeah, I mean, they're continuing the story. Miz doesn't really have to do much, really anything, just kind of be there trying to help mentor in a way, with this whole scene. I was also thinking about this earlier in the week on if the Knicks did lose and then lose the entire series, on how different this scene would have played out at this point. Like, how Matt would have been really mad that the Knicks lost, and Angel and Humberto. I imagine they would have been like, you were supposed to bet that money or something. I don't know. But I did think about how different it could have been if the Knicks didn't win the NBA Finals. But yeah, it looks like they're just kind of showcasing the tag team division a little bit. I do see Danhausen and Matt Cardona actually being a tag team. It just seems like they can work together pretty well. It takes a Miz and Kit Wilson out of the picture for just a little bit until they show up. But then again, Danhausen could team with whatever the machine has, so it's good because it shows a little bit more of like the mystery. We're not entirely sure what's going to happen, but we're kind of having an idea, and it's starting to kind of get through. And of course, the little woo woo woo, at the very end there, kind of a little cheeky thing, but it was. It's WWE, it's wrestling. You're supposed to do these little things like that. That's what makes it fun.
Right. Yeah, I think that they're doing good. Quite the far cry from when he first came out and people just didn't know how to take him. Man, how that completely changed around.
Yeah, I know, like a complete 180 and then some.
All right. Well, WWE is currently gearing up for Night of Champions. That's going to be taking place in Riyadh. That's Saturday, June 27th. We might do a pay-per-view recap of that. And it looks like it's going to be ESPN in the U.S. and Netflix internationally is where they're going to show that. I know. It's hard to keep track of where all the wrestling shows are these days. One over here, one over there, one everywhere. But yeah, that's what they're kind of gearing up towards. And maybe next week we'll do a bring back our Raw and SmackDown recap to kind of check things out, see what's going on the WWE front. All right. With that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and that is talk and cover Croakitoad news. And we'll go straight into Croakitoad this week in Croakitoad. And boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about here. It won't take long, though, I assure you. Obviously, we had Steam Next Fest that had started on the 15th. And so we decided to jump right into that, take advantage of all the awesome Steam demos that are out right now for Steam Next Fest, and really check out some new games that are coming out that would, under normal circumstances, be kind of under the radar and kind of hidden. And Steam Next Fest rolls around every couple times each year, and really is a great platform to be able to bring a lot of eyes to some really great and amazing indie games that are coming out that really deserve to be checked out and be given some eyes to. And I'm more than happy to help out and check these demos out. And especially if the team or the developer or the artist or a voice actor from the game drops by the live stream and, ask me to play their game, I'm definitely in on that, because I really, there's something about that building that relationship that really appeals to me, and getting to start that relationship with different people in the industry, whether they're an independent level or they have been involved in many projects throughout the years. It's really always fun to me as a gamer. And, I'm not just, I guess at the end of the day, I'm just a guy sitting here playing games, but I have always wanted to be a little bit more than that. I wanted to always be a little bit more involved and get into an industry that I really do cherish and I do love. And regardless of where the person sits at on the gaming totem pole when it comes to development and stuff, I still treat everybody the same and really respect anyone that dedicates their time, hours, and money. Really, people often forget that you have to pay for those Unreal licenses and all that stuff to build these games. And I really respect people that dedicate their lives to do that, take all those hours out of their day to do that. So when Steam Next Fest rolls around, I'm absolutely stoked and ready, and have so many demos lined up ready to play and spread some awareness for them. But what we did the first night we did demos was a giant list of games, and this is kind of be the running theme of what I did this week in Croakitoad. But the first batch of games we did was Cozy Game Restoration, Goblin Vike the Thief Tycoon, Void Fighters, and we actually played with the developer Dorgaz, who was actually in my stream last night while they're playing DBD, and I guess we're going to be playing some DBD with them soon. Papaya Plaza, Vulture Scavengers of Death, Froggy Hates Snow, Guinea Pig Gunner, Hane, Void Face, and Uncanny Tells The Watcher. And all of these playthroughs can be found up on my YouTube, by the way. Each one of these demo playthroughs I have turned into actual videos for the YouTube if you're interested in any of these that I mentioned. The next time we roll around to play more games, which was on the 15th, was another just a giant batch of Steam Next Fest demos. We played 100 Cats Lost in Japan 2, Find in Color. We played Stella Nova, which we covered earlier on this podcast, with the developer Dave in chat to check it out. We also played Oops Unit, myself and Zazarus, and the developer there was also, Wave, was also in the chat to watch us play that one. That was another really fun one that I feel like we almost need to cover on next week's podcast to talk about. We also played Widow, You Will Fall, Mold Washer, Huglings, Dwarf the Dungeonist, and that developer was also in my chat. Leafy Corner, The Confined Basement. And I believe that yes, that one was wait, hold on. Am I thinking of another game? No, I'm thinking of another game. Okay. We did Confined Basement, Unending Aqua, and Washington Prime. That was the next batch of Steam Game Next Fest demos we did. And then we came back the next night and we did even more. We did Foghorns Drown, Lights Out Run, Molocaust, Escape from Z, Buried Below. And that one was the one I was just thinking of, where we had an actual voice actor come into the chat and ask me to play the game. And their likeness was that of a character who was the employee at the gas station at the very beginning of the game. So we got to interact with the character and the voice of the person who was in the live stream. So that was really fun. And then we had Stack Up, Everrail, Gulfright, Spooker. That was another game that I believe it was the artist and the developer came into my chat and was watching me play. That was a fun one, Spooker there. Sin Reloaded, Waking Nightmares, Rita, Project Sakura, and Loot Goblins. And Loot Goblins was yet another game where the developer was there to watch. Always making it for a much more enjoyable and pleasant time for sure. And then 2 nights ago, we did Alyssa, Cozy Cleaner, The Crimson Hunt, Tokyo Outbreak Zero, Divine Frequency, which was a game recommended to me by OG Brad, a demo recommended to me by OG Brad Vickers. We also did The Walking Dead, Streets of Survival, and Peace Under His Roof. And of course, last night, we did a big multiplayer night with a bunch of Steam Next Fest demos as well. And we did Trivia Murder Party 3. We did Crude, Dodge Brawl, which we covered earlier on the podcast, Mecha Chameleon, which we also covered earlier in the podcast, Kill Your Friends, Dino Party, and Monkey Business. And then at the very end of that, we played a few rounds of DBD because Jason is out on DBD. So we played a few multiplayer rounds of that. But yes, as you can tell from what I just talked about, our entire week of Croakitoad was completely covered in Steam Next Fest stuff, and very happy to do it. Always willing to spread some eyes and get some awareness out there for up and coming video games that wouldn't normally have this kind of promotion. So very, very happy to help and do that. All right, with that being said, we're going to move over to what we did on this previous Tuesday, and that was the Croakitoad Pro Wrestling CPW report. So we'll just go over the results real quick here as we head closer to Beach Brawl, which will be Tuesday, June 30th. We have the Go Home show coming up this Tuesday. So this was basically just kind of like another build-up show heading up towards that. We already do have some matches confirmed for Beach Brawl at the end of June, by the way, which we'll go into right after this. But our results from the June 16th episode of CPW Wrestling, we started off with Jen Von Lee, the hardcore champion, and Jess Moxie, her #1 contender right now for the hardcore title, teaming up to take on Lilu and Agent CS, who is dressed as Mr. Coke and fooled everybody again in our opening match, 3.5 match star rating, and just a typical tag team hardcore match there. Jen Von Lee once again picking up the win with her submission. And after taking an L to Jess Moxie last week, she comes right back and gets another dub. I still would love to see what her win-loss record is in season 3. She probably has the best win-loss record of everybody in CPW right now. Next match was Mike Metal putting his Kappa title on the line that he won from Ryan Matthews last Tuesday against Honey in a 1-on-1 match, 3-star match rating. Mike Metal would retain the Kappa title, so he gets to hang on to it another week. And I believe this might have been Honey's first shot at the Kappa title. And of course, we had Azarain, Miles, and Alessandra escorting, anyone who Mike Metal's opponent is at ringside, because they consider they are still kind of the thorn in his side, really. But it didn't help them at all. Mike Metal still wins, defeating Honey to retain the belt. Our third match saw Tater Tots, who is actually, shout out to her, celebrating her Twitch stream anniversary today on June 21st. So shout out to Tater Tots on Twitch, celebrating her stream anniversary. And she went into singles action against Q Raider, Q the Stupidity, 1-on-1 match, 4.5 match star rating, and picks up a win there. The next match saw the tag team champions Morzel and Mr. Cantot with their manager Lady Lavin coming out to defeat a brand new team that we'd never seen before, escorted by Vampy of the Blood Triangle, and they were called the Hex Sisters. There was a lot of questions whether are they sisters? Are they more than sisters? Are they just friends? What is it? The entrance was very, their entrance together was very promiscuous. So I don't know, but these were two characters that I really raged over unlocking because it was an achievement was involved anyway through the island on 2K26. And these were two characters that you unlock by completing the first chapter of the island for the achievement. And the match in question that you had to do on the island to not only get towards this achievement, but unlock these two sisters characters built into the game was that you had to fight one and until there's a scripted moment in the game where the second one comes out, and then it's a 2-on-1 extreme rules match on legend difficulty. And so you can probably imagine the AI was very much relentless, and I spent so many tries unlocking, getting through this match. It was so dumb, so miserable. I don't know why 2K continues to do this stupid crap for the island, forcing you to play on legend difficulty. They also do the same thing in the My Rise, where they force you to play these just really dumb and stupid matches on the hardest difficulty. It doesn't make the game any more fun. Nobody that I know enjoys this or likes this. 2K, please stop forcing us to play the game in these stupid scenarios like a 2-on-1 hardcore match on the hardest difficulty. It's not fun for anybody. It's really actually kind of lame, and we just want to enjoy the story and enjoy the island without you forcing this stupid difficulty and these dumb matches and dumb challenges on us. Okay, so I'll get off my soapbox now. But yeah, that I raged and was so angry because it took me so many tries to beat this match, but I finally did. And took a few years off my life, but unlocked them. But I'm like, you know what? If I went through all that hassle of going for that achievement and unlocking these characters, I might as well bring them to the E-Fed to show for it. Kind of like what I did with like the Prime bottle last season and the Cody Rock spot last season, which was another can of worms that I don't want to get into. But that was a 4-star match rating, and apparently the Hex Sisters might be affiliated with Asterial and the Blood Triangle, so she might have a few more Witch Sisters up her sleeve here in CPW now. Next match was Rock Hard Meat defeating Grim Weaver, debuting in his first official match in CPW after months and months of vignettes. We finally saw him come out. It was a tables match, 3-star match rating. Rock Hard Meat smashes Grim Weaver with a front slam through the table, crunching him. But this is a match set up for the International Championship at Beach Brawl. This is going to be two big boys slapping meats for the IC belt, basically. And I can't wait to see it. It's good to see Grim Weaver on the roster, finally, known as Os Alpha Wolf in the chat, after all these vignettes that we've been seeing. So good to see him officially on the roster now in that one. Next match was Zozakin and Skippy the Scout defeating Wizard Boz and Trainer Lindy. This was a match where Zozakin and Wizard Boz are kind of entering a mini rivalry against each other right now. They are actually booked against each other at Beach Brawl right now as a Paladin versus Wizard match. And the opponent got to choose the other one's tag partner. So basically, Wizard Boz picked Skippy the Scout. Zozakin picked Trainer Lindy. Of course, we know Trainer Lindy is on a defeated streak. She has not won a single match since arriving in CPW. So, you know, fair enough for Zozakin for picking her. And Boz's probably thought was, well, Skippy the Scout is more of a peak climber than a wrestler, so I'll just return the favor. But nevertheless, it was a 5-star match rating, and Zozakin and Skippy picks up the win. Next match was Welsh Mosher and Fat Steen going in singles action, but the match couldn't even get started. 1.5 match star rating. They immediately brawled outside of the ring, and it actually went into the crowd. We don't usually see things go out into the crowd for Croakitoad Pro Wrestling. This one did. So Welsh Mosher and Fat Steen get counted out, and I'm very much sure that the Titans and the Pooner Rangers are getting set for tag action going into Beach Brawl for sure, especially after this. Our next match saw Cassidy Ryan coming out to defeat Spinny in a 4.5 match star rating. Cassidy Ryan came out with his boy Pat McAfee, and Psycho T came out, the world champion, as well, to get a closer look at this match, since all three of these characters are kind of close together right now when it comes to the world title division. And then right out of the gate, Pat McAfee immediately started attacking Psycho T, the world champion, and caused a lot of commotion at ringside. Psycho T started attacking Pat McAfee, hitting him over the head with a steel chair, with a kendo stick, smashing a kendo stick while this match was trying to go on. The referee finally said, I don't care if you're the world champion. I don't care if you're going to haunt me in my nightmares later. You're out of here. Psycho T getting ejected from this match, leaving Cassidy Ryan and Pat McAfee to troll Spinny and getting a win over her. This was actually Cassidy Ryan's first match back since that big Hell in a Cell match at CyberSlam. Last time we saw him was in the hospital room next to Diamond. guess he got an early release and picks up a win here. Next match was a 6-man tag. We saw Maggie Moore, Nathan Moore, and Rogue defeating Puppy, AJ Jacobs, and Spike Ryan. This was a 5-star match. As we know, Spike Ryan has had this kind of this on again, off again rivalry with Maggie, Nate, and Rogue for over a month now, as he basically turned his back on the crowd, the fans, his peers, but was still able to team up with Puppy and AJ Jacobs here, who were known as best friends and are right up there probably with Grem in terms of like being the goodest guys, the goodest boys of CPW. So I was really wondering how Spike Ryan and Puppy and AJ Jacobs were going to kind of coexist here, considering that they have just a whole different mindsets in CPW right now. But it ended up kind of being a really weird and twist ending because there was some really shots fired, some collateral damage being taken place between Puppy, AJ, and Spike Ryan throughout the match, where there was like accidental misfires on each other, and there was a pin at the very end that was not broken up, and you could argue, was it on purpose? Was it intentional? We don't know. I think it was Spike Ryan got pinned and Puppy tried to save the pin but couldn't do it, and so therefore the match ended, if I recall correctly. So yeah, very interesting. But Spike Ryan, obviously right now, he's taken everything out on everybody else and has definitely turned to the evil side. So I mean, we weren't really going to see these three really work together that well going in with those kind of ingredients going in, as compared to like Maggie and Nate and Rogue, known as FAFO. So it was bound to happen. 5-star match there. We also had Linky defeating Sumo and Aiden Gallagher in a 3-way match for a 4-star match rating. Of course, Sumo is the TV champion. He defeated Buttons back at CyberSlam. This is the first time we've actually seen him since he won the belt. So good to see Sumo back as one of the champions of CPW here. This was a 3-way match set for first falls, and a very weird stipulation was set here where if someone was able to pin Sumo or submit him, they would get a TV title shot next Tuesday. So it was really an interesting Mind 4D chess kind of match here, where, as we know, Linky and Aiden Gallagher have been feuding each other for several months now, and where they put that aside to go after each other or focus on Sumo and the TV title. But we got our answer here. Linky actually pinned Sumo, and he earns himself a TV title shot, while Aiden Gallagher sat there and watched and basically was shocked at the result. So Linky versus Sumo will be happening this upcoming Tuesday for the TV title, as he earns himself a title shot there. The next match was Deputy Dog defeating North Greenfield, Kadaj, and Queen Savi in a 4-way match, 4.5 match star rating. This was over the Young Lions title division. Of course, Queen Savi is the Young Lions champion. So yet again, we see the champion come back again after CyberSlam, after winning the belt. Good to see her back. And we had North Greenfield and Kadaj here. They're usually as a tag team. They're known as the Rock Hard Meatballs under Rock Hard Meat. And for the first time, we saw them go at each other and cause for some very interesting moments there in that match, 4-way match. North Greenfield actually picked up some impressive eliminations here. He not only eliminated his own partner, Kadaj, but he also actually eliminated Queen Savi from the match. And then it left us down to Deputy Dog versus North Greenfield. And then Deputy Dog actually ended up winning the match. So I don't know if that's enough to give Deputy Dog a shot against Queen Savi in the Young Lions title, or did North Greenfield prove himself with 2 eliminations here? It's kind of a weird dispute there for the end of this match, but nevertheless, Deputy Dog actually won. All right, next match was Raji and Asterial defeated Grim and Celestia in a tag match. This was a 5-star match rating, and this one involved quite a few different ingredients here. Of course, we know Raji and Grim, who are here on the podcast, have been kind of having a little bit of a rivalry for a couple of months now, as we head into that anniversary, I guess you could say, of last year, when Grim was the current world champion and he was still on that very first reign ever here in CPW. And then Raji ultimately defeated him to become the second world champion in CPW history. We're coming up on that 1-year anniversary. And so that was a major part of this match. And then we also have Asterial getting ready to defend her women's title against Celestia coming up at Beach Brawl as well. So we basically had 2 rivalries, 2 matches thrown into one here in our semi-main event. This was a 5-star match rating. This was a really awesome match, actually. It was good to see Grim and Celestia team up together. And then someone pointed out that Raji and Celestia almost had like same matching ring colors, which was kind of funny with the red and white. But At the end of the day, it was Raji and Ash who picks up the win over Team Good Guys, Grem and Celestia, 5-star match rating in our semi-main event. And then the last match of the night saw the Money in the Bank briefcase holder Ryan Matthews basically immediately choking out Mr. Coke. So I guess you could call him Mr. Choke in the main event. 1-star match rating. And the biggest news out of this, rather than the result of the match, was the fact that Roxas was like permanently in Mr. Coke's grill the entire match, like no space whatsoever. Like they're basically like touching the entire match. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if Roxas was kind of like just fake Mr. Coke out, distract him, juke him out in this match, cause him to be distracted. But whatever it was, it worked because Mr. Coke loses to Ryan Matthews front neck chancery, and he like taps out like almost as soon as the match started for a 1-star match rating. So again, this will probably be another reason for Mr. Coke to go after Roxas in their very weird relationship where 1 week they're teaming together and the next week they're at each other's throats. It's just the Coke v. Roxas way trademark. And that's what we got in our main event to close out the show. So that was a very solid show. We do have the go home show, as I said, coming up this Tuesday, but we also have a few matches posted for Beach Brawl right now that were released on the card, and we'll go over those real quick as well. So we know Beach Brawl is coming up on Tuesday, June 30th, and we do have the women's champion Asterial defending her women's title against Celestia, and that will be probably one of the biggest matches, if not the biggest match on the entire show, because Asterial, as we know, is the longest reigning champion of any title belt in the history of CPW right now. She's held on to her title belt longer than anybody else has in the history of CPW and is working on a monstrous title reign with this women's title. Will Celestia, the first ever champion, be the one to finally knock that reign out and put an end to Asterial's reign as champion? That's going to be a huge match. Obviously, the next one we just talked about was Grem versus Raji. And 1 year ago at this very event, Grem lost to Raji to lose that world title, and Raji became world champion. And now we're getting 1 year later, the anniversary match, Grem versus Raji. Well, even though there is no world title at stake here, will Grem get his win back from Raji after what happened last year? Then we have Zozakin versus Wizard Boz. This is Paladin versus Wizard. This is a feud that's been slowly building up between the two after Wizard Boz basically like took a dive to Zozakin and lost super quickly. We were like, what just happened there? Zozakin just beat him like within minutes. And so this is kind of slowly building up here between Zozakin and Wizard Boz to a more of an RPG kind of themed match here. Of course, we have the International Championship as well. Rock Hard Meat will be defending his title against the pay-per-view debuting Grem Weaver here. These are two giant big boys here colliding for this title belt. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be good, especially after that table match we saw last Tuesday. We also have a very interesting match that kind of came out of nowhere. This one's billed as a retirement match. We have Linky versus Aiden Gallagher. Now, I don't know what this means in terms of like, does the loser have to retire? Does someone specifically have to retire? Does Connie have to retire? There's no other further dialogue here, but this certainly has some very red flags all over it. And it's Linky versus Aiden Gallagher. So this is like one of the most ongoing constant feuds that we've seen in season 3 of CPW so far. So with a tagline like retirement match, you got to think this feud is probably going to come to an end at Beach Brawl, because I mean, if someone's retiring, unless they're Terry Funk, that means they're done. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then of course we have one other match here on the build on the advertisement, and that is a blockbuster tag match featuring the world champion. And that's going to be Psycho T and Spinny putting their differences aside to team up together to take on for the first time ever, the team of Cassidy Ryan and his boy Pat McAfee. And this is going to be called the McCassholes versus the Spinning Nightmares in our blockbuster tag match involving the world champion. So already a pretty solid card there for Beach Brawl. We still have another event to get to though, the go home show, as I said. And we also know that, obviously Jen Von Lee will be having to put her hardcore title on the line against Jess Moxie. That's a confirmed match, and there's no telling what's going to go down with Coke and Roxas. I'm sure there's going to be something there. What about Spike Ryan and his shenanigans? Surely there's going to be something going on over there. And then we have a couple of other title situations too. I mean, Linky is already involved in that match. What if he beats Sumo this Tuesday for the TV title? what happens then? Because then that is going to be a very weird twist of fate when it comes to the television championship. And then we have a few other titles that aren't being talked about really. What about the tag belts? What about the Titans and the Pooner Rangers? Are they going to be added to the card? I'm sure they will. So yeah, we still have a lot more stories going into this thing, but that is your CPW report for this week. I understand that Raji had an emergency, had to leave the podcast. So I will pass it over to Grem. And did any match stand out to you last Tuesday? Are you excited about anything coming up for Beach Brawl? Are there any matches you would like to see? Or what are your overall thoughts about CPW right now? Does anything stand out to you?
Deputy Dog kind of having a match was, interesting. I think it's been a couple of weeks since the last time we saw him. Grim Weaver and Rock Hardmeat, that's a big one. I cannot wait for that one. And I'm actually curious about that retirement match too. I think that one's going to be one that a lot of people should be talking about this Tuesday coming up. Like, now that we know it, let's hope and kind of see. We're going to figure out what that actually entails. Maybe we'll know this Tuesday, or maybe we will know next Tuesday when Beach Brawl actually happens. But those are the ones that I'm kind of looking at right now at looking at the card on ones that I'm kind of excited for. Obviously, besides, the two personal ones with Ashterial and Grem. But those are the two I'm kind of looking forward to seeing on what happens and the outcome.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I apologize in advance, but I have to do it for our listeners out there. I have to ask, who do you got? Women's title.
I have Ashterial.
Wow.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. Wow.
Yep. I have to. Celestia was a great partner, and I hope that, like, was it last year when I was teaming up with Spinny, hope get to work a tag team match with her again. But Ashterial is my girl. Like, she's one of my best friends. Can't give up on her.
All right. Well, there you go. Even despite the turn of events that have transpired between the two of you, still sticking with her. All right. And then over on the other one, this one might be a little bit harder for you to decide, but I have to ask because we're on the podcast. Who do you got? Grem versus Raji?
Grem. I mean, come on. If I'm not confident in myself, I'm winning, then what am I doing, right? Now, I'm hoping to avenge the loss, but we'll see. I mean, Raji's beaten me plenty of times before, so we'll see what happens.
All right. And just as a curveball, he's not even ready for this, but I'm going to throw him to the wolves right now out of nowhere because he's been in here listening as well, I guess as like second string. But we're going to pull him into the first string now because Coke soda can is here. And I have to ask, out of what you see on the screen, is there anything that interests you? Is there anything intriguing to you after watching? Or anything you're looking forwards to? What about what happened with the Coke and Roxas thing on the last show? And would you be surprised if you saw some sort of one-on-one versus match with Coke and Roxas at Beach Brawl? Or would you say, now we put our differences aside and we could be more of a tag team?
All I could say is I'm sure Coke v Roxas is going to be a thing.
Okay.
And I hope I win.
All right. Well, there you go. There is no putting our differences aside on that answer. That's for sure. You heard it there. He wants Coke v Roxas at Beach Brawl. Maybe that's what we're going to get. Another one. All right. Well, that'll wrap up our CPW report. And we're going to move over to streaming news. And that's our Twitch stream team. And we'll get that underway right here. And we'll give you guys all shout outs, of course. That's what we like to do here for the Croakitoad community news for the Twitch team. And let's go back up, scroll back up and see what you guys are up to. Because each week I always give you guys a chance to type in our Discord what you're up to, what your plans are for the weekend. I love giving you guys shout outs to help you achieve your goals, your milestones, your aspirations as Twitch streamers and let the podcast listeners know what everyone's been up to here in this community, this Croakitoad community, in terms of streaming and stuff. And so first up, we had Feats, who answered and said, in the middle of taking part of the TRLE Extra Life Summer event today. Oh, I didn't even know that was happening. Got a blind TRLE race. Oh, is it more of a race? Okay, that's probably why. Not much of a racer. Got a blind TRLE race at 9 p.m. my time to look forwards to. And other than that, we'll be looking to continue Thief Gold, grind out that next PB in Dino Crisis, and of course, completing more TRLEs. So that's Feats, kind of sticking with what the ingredients that he's known for, the PBs and Dino Crisis, the TRLEs, but also playing Thief Gold. That's pretty cool. And I hope the TRLE extra, I'm assuming that's the Tomb Raider community. Hopefully that's a good event and raises a lot of great money for Extra Life. They always do a great job. Zozikin replied and said, monthly board game stream, and then I'll be focusing my efforts on Mina the Hollower. And that's a game we reviewed on the podcast a few weeks back. So let us know in the comments, Zozikin, how you feel about Mina the Hollower. Why don't you check her out? And yeah, I'm really interested in your opinion because you're really high up on those retro games like that. Then we have Puerto Rican Chipmunk coming in and say, may stream some RE2 Remake, Claire's second scenario. Nice, nice. So I'm assuming you're working your way through RE2 Remake and don't have too much left to go, Maggie. There is a lot to play in RE2 Remake, the 4 scenarios, the hunk, the tofu mode, all the extra survivors mode. So you got a lot to mess around with there on RE2 Remake. Then we had Daniel McGee. I am Daniel McGee playing some Marvel Rivals. That's cool. That's cool. If you're hearing this, let us know how it went. Did you get more wins? Did you get more losses? Who's your favorite character to play as, Daniel, in Marvel Rivals? Let us know in the comments. Lucinda is back, and she said, we're finally sinking our teeth into the meat of God of War 2018. This playthrough is going to take 2 months. I can already feel it. And she drops a laugh emoji. You know what, Lucinda? I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I've not played God of War 2018. I really need to. I really want to. But yeah, I can see how that could be a pretty long game, just with the story and the dialogue, and you're not skipping anything, and you're just really fully getting into the game. I can see how it can take a long time to do, especially if you're at very limited streaming hours and you can't stream for very long periods. So yeah, I can definitely feel that. And but hey, there's a silver lining at the end of the day, right? At least you're not playing Watch Dogs 1 or 2 anymore, right? Because it felt like you were on those games for a long time. So now you got something new, and maybe now you're wishing you were back on Watch Dogs. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, let us know how you're feeling about God of War 2018. It surely did take over gaming, like when Kratos came back in a whole new adventure, rather not being in, like ancient Greece. It was now more about, the Norse stuff. So people really seem to enjoy that. I'm wondering what your opinion is on it, and how you're liking it. But yeah, those are what everyone replied back with. But we do have the full lineup of what everyone was playing this week. So I'll proceed to give everyone on the Twitch team a shout out, courtesy of, what should we call this? CokeBot? Courtesy of this week's CokeBot report, Coca-Cola report. Not sponsored, by the way. We had Jayan Moore, who is Raji on our podcast here, was playing Crash Out Crew and Fortnite. We had Roxas997 this week, who was playing some Persona 5 Strikers. We had Lucinda, of course, playing some God of War. We had RE Kitten 137, who is playing some Peak, Repo, Frog Squad, and Stray. That's a good lineup. We had Feats Beats Games, who did, in fact, play some TRLEs and Dino Crisis. We had Puerto Rican Chipmunk playing some Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil Revelations 2. Wow, Maggie, you're starting to play more Resident Evil than I am. You might be known as the new Resident Evil guru around here at this point. Then we got Jin Von Lee, who stepped in. I believe this was from today. I believe. So this is very recent, if I'm not mistaken. But Jin was playing some Mecha Chameleon. I'm very sad I missed this, by the way, earlier. Jin was playing some Mecha Chameleon, Peak, Berglund Gnomes, and Fears to Fathom Scratch Creek, which was the newest Fears to Fathom that just literally just came out. I hope those were good for you, Jen. Chain was once again playing more Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Boy, he has been on that game like gangbusters, that's for sure. Necromananon was playing some Cult of the Lamb and Drive Beyond Horizons. Nice. How is your cult going there, Necro? Is it expanding? Is it shrinking? Is it going about the same? I'm really interested because you are the Necro, and if anyone around here should have a cult, it should be you. Then we had Spooky Auntie 13, who was playing some Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. We had Urkamus. Hey, for a change, he was only literally playing one game. I'm used to seeing Urkamus on this list, and he's got like 6 different games on here. Urkamus was only playing Pragmata this time, so that's obviously taken up a lot of his time, I'm sure, being a newer game and whatnot. And also our first game giveaway here at Toad Talk Podcast that went to, I believe, Fuse for Spins. Patrick's Raider was back again. He was playing Sly 3, Metroid, Sly 2, and Wolfenstein. So Patrick's was all over the place, as I would suspect. We had Zozokin come in with board games and Archipelago and continuing to achieve his, what we like to jokingly refer to as the Archipelago World Championship title belt. Then we had Agatha, who was playing Metal Gear Solid Delta, a game I really need to jump into because, yeah, that is actually the next game I need to actually play. 007 First Light, another game I want to play. GoldenEye 007 and Silent Hill 2. Nice little, that is actually a great round of games there from Agatha. Queen Savi was back and she was playing some Resident Evil 2. Nice. Good to see her back. We had Burnsy back again playing some Stardew Valley and Resident Evil Code Veronica X. I guess that Resident Evil Veronica got some, burned some life into Burnsy. Want to play the OG Code Veronica there. That's awesome. We had It's Pocket, who is playing some games and demos. Moonlight Peaks, Alyssa, Meow Marie's, Molderize, Cozy Cleaner, Last Alive, a game about breaking a cube. Just that title alone, I need to check this game out. A game about breaking a cube. Okay. Moss, the Forgotten Relic, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Wow, Pocket was all over the place. Looks like she was playing a lot of Steam Next Fest demos as well. I can recognize Alyssa and Cozy Cleaner for sure. So that's awesome. Also supporting indie game development and Steam Next Fest. Thank you, Pocket, for doing that. We had I Am Daniel McGee, who was playing some Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, and Bus Bound. So that's awesome. Q the Stupidity was back again with some Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. We had Lone Star coming off of a birthday a few weeks back, and he was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We had Jojo Spud 247, who was playing some Crow Country and the Pokemon trading card game. Ooh, that's exciting. I would love to play that, Jojo. Then we had Honey Lil Yu, who's playing some Dark Souls 3. Lilu Horrors was in with some Just Chatting, Content Warning, Frankenstein, Through the Eyes of the Monster, Buckshot Roulette, and Phasmophobia. Basically typical games I would expect to see from Lilu Horrors this week. Then we had Atomic Bomb 1980, and he was playing Resident Evil Requiem, Dark Souls 3, and Crackdown 3. And finally, last but not least, we had our newest member of the Croakitoad Team Toad Twitch stream, who is very busy this week as well, Simply Mayhem, who we got a chance to finally raid this past week as well. And she was playing Sons of the Forest, House Flipper, DBD, Fortnite, and The Forest. And I think when we actually raided in, I think it was Tuesday after CPW, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was playing DBD when we did that. So hopefully all your streams are going good, Simply Mayhem. And to everybody else we dropped a shout out to, hopefully your streams are going well. You're enjoying this gaming. What a magical time to be a gamer right now. We have so much to look forward to and things that are coming out and games that are already out now. And yeah, you guys continue to keep doing what you're doing awesome streams, putting out awesome content, aspiring to your goals, getting those follower counts and those average views up. And I'll do whatever I can here at the podcast to continue to help promote and get your names out there for sure each week. But that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to drop this week's Streamer of the Week. We took a break from it last week because our podcasts were so close together. They were only like 3 days apart. So we're back to it again, and this week's Streamer of the Week is going to go, actually, for the first time ever, to Agatha. We have hand clap SFX playing. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh wait, no, it's not going to me. It's going to Agatha, who is a very amazing, very cozy, awesome streamer that has a really fun sense of humor as well. She, when I first met Agatha, she was playing tons of Resident Evil games. She's played Silent Hills. She usually likes to, when she's not using the VTuber thing, she is usually on camera. She usually dresses up in cosplays as some of the games that she plays, kind of like I do, but to a much further extent. Like doing Silent Hill, she's been a Silent Hill nurse before, full-fledged. She does Jill Valentine a lot. She's done Snake. She's done so many different games with cosplay and stuff to kind of take it to the next level. She absolutely loves the Zelda games, the newer games on the Switch, and just plays all kinds of different stuff. Very much a variety streamer. I believe she lives in Germany right now, so her time zone's a little bit off than us Americans. So you have to kind of catch her early in the morning for her streams. But it's a good time. It's always a fun time with Agatha. Definitely well deserved. She's been working hard on her streams, plays a lot of different stuff, and her variety is definitely really out there and is the epitome of what variety is. And I really didn't have any idea that she was as big of a James Bond fan that she was until here recently. So that's really cool too. But yeah, Agatha, for the first time ever, will be this week's Streamer of the Week. Glad to drop that down to you. And with that being said, we will drop the clip of the week, which will actually come from Agatha's channel as well. And this is from her, one of her games, her streams from this week, where she was actually playing 007 GoldenEye. Yes, the old school N64 one. So let's take a look at that clip here and check it out.
Detonator? Objective failed? I did. Oh, I killed friend. I killed my friend. Why was he by the tanks? Why was he still standing by the tanks? Why was he standing? My God.
Oh, that sucks. I remember playing GoldenEye, and if you do one wrong move and you mess up that objective, you got to start the whole level all over again. That sucks. I hate that for her, because I believe that's right at the end of that level too. Luckily, it's kind of a smaller level, shorter level, I think. But yeah, still sucks nevertheless. You blew up Alec Trevelyan. Well, you kind of ended the movie of GoldenEye before it could even start, in a way, if you think about it. But not to what the game wanted. But yeah, funny clip there. Not so funny in the moment, I'm sure, because you have to restart the whole level over again. But that is a clip from featured clip there from Agatha playing some retro gaming there. So definitely check her out. And thank you to everyone who continues to be a part of the Croakitoad community and stream team each week. That is going to do it for this week's podcast. We covered a lot of stuff. Thank you all for tuning in, listening on whatever service you are listening on, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. Again, if you have any suggestions for us, recommendations, things you would like for us to talk about or cover, topics of discussion, or maybe you agree or disagree with anything you heard on the show, whether it be the community, the CPW part, games, movies, sports, WWE, whatever, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear back from you, and we will actually, put that into our discussion, and as well as make sure to drop those hashtags. You have one last week to enter in for that Star Fox game giveaway over on the Nintendo Switch 2. We'll be revealing the winner next week, next episode. And we are currently actually checking you guys out on Spotify comments as well. We're noticing you guys commenting over on Spotify as well, not just YouTube. So got to give those Spotify listeners some love over there too for dropping those comments. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for supporting us here at Toad Talk Podcast. That being said, I am Croakitoad and I'm out of here. We will see you next Sunday. I'll let Grem also say his goodbye.
All right. Bye, guys. And stay radical. Sorry.
No, it's Zen, man. That's how we started.
Yeah.
Zen.
Should end it that way too, right?
Yeah, we got to end it right here. Goodbye, everybody. Stay Zenful.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.